as you all enter the area and notice the water, the last light is going to approach it and looks at it as he seems to be thinking.
Beastie will place Duck down and then we'll start going over.
That's not what I want to do. Please. Where is the lake, you ask?
He's near the river's edge.
I'm trying to find which edge of the river.
This
There's the
one.
river's edge. Okay. My browser is not agreeing with me at this current moment.
Hey, Candleman.
I would not stand that close to the water.
He'll take a step back and squat while look into it.
It is worse than I imagined.
Gold
It's
for your
got-
thoughts?
This water is contaminated much worse than I originally anticipated. I must have been sealed away for a very long time.
Why is there squids at the bottom of the river?
That is not squids, that is flesh.
She squints.
We need to find a way to safely pass over the river. We cannot risk getting into the waters.
They all look back at George. George,
Yeah?
can you move all of us across?
Ours is gonna go through and count everyone.
I mean, worst case scenario, I can take a majority of us.
Yeah, but I'd rather not use resources that we might end up needing here for a second. I think for a second. And then another hand will appear next to him on, like, also thinking. And the second George shows up. How much time are we able to look around and count? And then I should be able to take 6 with me.
Only 6. Very well.
Each.
Oh,
So
each.
12.
All right.
I can find my own way across. It is no trouble.
I believe with the 2 Georges, we have enough for everyone.
Last light.
As you say this, you see him presently
Okay.
sizing up a tree. Appears to be lost in his own world.
Actually, 5.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's
Alright.
too short.
Scalodius.
Galodius has a way to fly over, and I believe you do too.
Yes. So, it should be fine. So that over.
Yeah. If anything, I can also fly over myself.
Last light. We have a way that we can get across.
There are multiple ways.
He looks over to you as he appears to be pulling a small axe from his pack. Tilts his head. Are you certain?
Yes. The Georges can teleport us across. The rest of us can fly over.
I see.
What? Is the infected flesh from this thing capable of casting counterspell or something?
Not as far as I'm aware. I do not believe that it is sentient, at least not in a way that is not animalistic.
Hold on a moment. El's then going to form a mage hand. We'll use it to pick up a rock, and then we'll just have it float over the river.
Okay.
Anything happen to it?
Mage hand has a range of. Oops, sorry.
Hey,
Mage hand has a range of 60 feet
30.
or 30.
Yeah.
That's why I said 30.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Chaos. Then it goes this far before it stops.
It goes how far?
30 feet.
Halfway across. Hold on. My computer's doing stupid stuff, and I can't stop it from doing it.
I don't know how that feels.
It goes this far, and then it stops.
It's there.
But it doesn't like disappear or anything.
No.
And the river doesn't do anything, like react to it at all or anything?
It continues being a river.
Alright. Well, it'll just place the rock on the ground and we'll have the mage hand disappear.
So you
Right.
brought the mage hand back to you.
Yes.
Otherwise, dropping the rock means you're dropping it in the water.
She did not drop in the water. She ain't messing around with that shit.
You
You're
don't
not
wanna
disturbing the water, basically.
You don't want to get in the water?
No, I don't want to get in the water.
Get in the water.
Get the fuck out of here, Poseidon.
Get in the water. I'm glad you immediately knew what I was talking about.
I mean, I was the one making the reference.
Yeah,
Oh,
glad we all got that.
Anyways, while that's happening, Scalise is gonna take himself across.
Oh boy.
This thing ain't magic, it's just naturally part of his being.
Yeah, but there could be some other shit on the other side over there.
Then who better to scout that shit than the guy with a lot of HP?
I guess.
Turtle. Scratch his hands, be like, alright, God, you guys all have our names. Ricardo and Romero, are you guys ready?
You see the two of them talking before they look over. Before they come over, and it's like, yes, I will. We are definitely ready.
Alright. You want to just look over last light?
Hold on, I'm having to do stuff. Having to prep and shit.
oh no, not prep and shit.
Alright, last light will wander over.
Alright.
Oh,
Aurelia,
realized.
are you ready
For what?
to be sent to the other side? The river?
I suppose so.
Orgrim.
Oh, hold up. Stop.
What's up?
I just did a head count. I think we have too many people.
The Georges aren't. Georgia. Yeah. Who said that?
I was more out of character because I was like doing a head count, and then I was like, wait a minute, we might have too many people.
Oh yeah, the Georges aren't going themselves, so.
Yeah, but not including them.
Well, Jubilee and Adol can just go across. So.
Okay, Jubilee would use a spell for that, but yeah. But at that point, she might as well just cast out a bunch of people, then, you know? He was trying to save resources. But if the Georges do it this way, we're one person short then, because Adel's just gonna float across. That
Scalise.
leaves one too many people. Yes,
Can you fly back?
limited time.
Fine. Who amongst
Well,
you
again,
is-
I have it for like 30 more seconds, so make it quick.
She points at Beastie. Carry her across.
Okay. Yoink.
Okay.
Beastie makes a startled goblin noise.
Sets her down. Okay,
As this
now
is
we're
happening-
fine.
As is happening, first George is going to cast Scatter on Ricardo, Romero, Last Light, Aurelia, and Otto. Sending those 5 over to the cross. The description for how it feels, Aurelia, it's essentially a bunch of feathers just start flying around you, and it kind of feels like the feathers are picking you up and then just flying you across.
I always imagined it kind of like a cannonball shot, like yeah.
I guess in Georgia term it would be a little like mini angels coming around just to carry you over.
Far more gentle than I imagined.
But the other George will wait for everyone else to gather around.
LV.
I am going to just very simply farce.
Don't do that. We are doing it to save resources, Gloomhollow.
I told you that I have plenty of resources on my own.
It's
You
a
can use the bridge for nose.
She's able to do that because of the race she is.
Yeah,
No,
she
that's
can
not what I was doing. I that only has a range of 30.
Start casting the Far Step spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, far step is 60.
Let's just do
But
it.
if
this way.
anything, Hollow, if I may, I'd like to make sure we're nowhere near the water when we cast the spell.
I suppose.
Hmm.
And she does actually seem mildly irritated by this.
Boardroom just get chill out back there, I guess. Then.
He's kind of just he's got Rocky in his hands and he's kind of doing like little. He's like it's like he's playing with a baby, and then he's like, oh shit, right.
Oh right. Okay, with this, one of the Georges can cross too now.
No,
I guess you just
George is
unsummon-
just sitting. Oh, Ado's gonna fly over, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, she will.
Yeah.
Okay. The George will get rid of his other self, and then we'll scatter those 5 over to the other side.
That's why I was doing the head count, because if I was counting one more, then I was like, wait, that means someone's got to get left behind, but since Skillow just grabbed Beastie, that solved that problem. And just like that, we're across.
Indeed. Say, George,
Yeah.
are you able to split others into 2 as well, or is it just you?
I'm able to separate, if anyone's cursed, I'm able to separate the curse from them. But in order for that to happen, in order to separate people, you actually have to be attuned to the sword.
So you can't split people into 2.
I haven't tried that yet, but I don't know if that would be something I'd be capable of doing. He'll kind of pull out the swords and then be like, is that something you're capable of doing?
Nope.
Yeah, no, we can't do that.
Well, I mean,
Thanks.
they could just not in the way you're hoping.
Or that, too.
And
I mean,
then
if you ever
form
wanna
like mock a chopping motion.
I mean, if you ever want to try it out, Ado, we can just give you the swords if you want to have 2 versions of yourself.
I am
Although,
just-
Blushing intensifies from the tiefling.
I'm not sure how it works with you being attuned to the amulet and all.
Oh, I wasn't going to suggest to do it on me. As he points to the last light. I was going to suggest doing it to him.
What do you mean?
Well, last night,
Yes.
your ritual that would cleanse the island of everything, that would do it to you as well, would it not?
Almost assuredly, if I was not able to get out.
Alright. He could split you in 2. That way, one half of you can leave the island, the other can risk their lives, so to speak.
Wait, back up. If I wasn't able to get out,
Well, it's a
So
big island.
there's a way to. Still, that means there's a way to avoid that.
Of course there is.
And
Teleportation.
Can Thor roll an insight check?
Sure.
What did he mean by that?
He meant get off the island. Get out.
Yeah.
From here.
But here's the thing. Here's what Thorgrim is thinking. Cleanse Island, get off island in time. Is he gonna try and blow up the island?
He has already made it very clear that he has every intention on purging the island. He has not lied to you at all, but yes, from what he has described, he is more or less going to glass the place.
That's what I thought.
Sounds like something that would be immediate, but would still be very devastating if you weren't able to get away.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I suggest that he splits himself in half. That's way he can still live
Doesn't
on.
that also... Hey, George, does that half your power as well when you do that?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like
It halves
something
your
you'd need all
power,
his power
and you'd essentially be making him get rid of half of his soul.
Better to lose half than the entire thing. But I'm
Unless-
merely
yeah, but-
labeling a suggestion.
Unless losing half of my soul prevents me from going to my afterlife.
Hmm.
It?
If it presuming it splits my soul in twain, if one of half of me dies and cannot move on, well, presumably the other half wouldn't be able to either.
And I suppose that ultimately it is your decision.
That's a curious conundrum.
That we can think of some type of spell we can have him have until then.
And in any case, it sounds like he needs full power to do this, so splitting him would be a bad idea in either case.
Not only that, I haven't really tested how far of a range I can be separated from myself for, and for how long.
This is all well and good. All of this positing is very well and good. But was there not something that we were doing?
Ah, right. Alright, let's go.
Hey, Elf. Yeah, yes, Dwarf? Are you okay? That is a complicated question. Ask again. Okay.
What is the matter then?
Thoughts of family.
I'm sure we will find your sister before the island
Sibling.
is cleansed.
Sibling. They are non-binary.
Sibling before the island is cleansed.
That is not my concern. The concern is when we find them.
When we find them.
Well, there is a curse upon this island. You saw the effects of it.
I see.
Furthermore, even if we do find them, they are intact still. I still have thoughts about their thoughts. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted again.
After a while, Last Light once again seemed lost in thought as he watched the river, but he will eventually come and join the group again.
All the old brainy types thinking and positive and all that crap. Must be a unique form of hell.
Yep. I actually like how much I think.
Well, I mean, I can understand that. It's just, sometimes you think too much, clearly. Gesturing to Elby.
What of the rest of you? There are 3 people still standing near the shore of the river.
Sorry, I
2
need to grab
people.
water.
The Reaver.
Yeah.
The Reaver River.
Oh, I just wasn't paying attention.
The Reaver of the cards.
Right. We're ready to move on to the next spot. But first,
Oh.
the mini-map of death.
God, this place
the
is huge.
island. Ooh.
You can move uno mas square.
How many people can Jubilee turn into wind again?
Let me double check. I believe it's 10 though.
I think it's like 8 to 10. Welcome back.
Oh, then I'm not casting it, but you and 10 willing creatures, so yeah.
11.
Got 10 plus me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Cool. Which way is the compass pointing again?
That away.
You can go that way.
Yeah, it's so freaking huge.
Last slide. Do you remember anything about the general topography of the area going forward? Is it like a marsh or a plains or what?
Mostly forest, if I remember correctly. Unless something drastic has changed over the years.
I'm not sure if it's wise to go through a forest given what we know about this area.
The only other option would be following the riverbank.
And we definitely don't want to do that.
We can stay a safe distance from the river while following it.
Yes, but we would still be in the forest land if we do.
That's as
Just
fair.
say, and not only that, it would also be taking us this way more, just to go up again. When we could just go straight forward and make sure we're in the forest less.
Not only that, how truly safe is a safe distance?
Very well. Forward we go. Holy moly, that is a lot of rain. Can you hear that through the mic?
Yes.
I heard that a little bit, yeah.
Goodness me. Holy shit, that is a lot of rain.
You gonna be okay, dude?
As long as a tornado doesn't rip through my apartment building.
That would be great. Would prefer not.
Yes, same here. It was raining here earlier.
Okay.
Have you heard any thunder?
No. So it should
Then
be
you're-
fine.
Then you're probably not gonna have a tornado.
Tornadoes.
Okay. Well, I got my phone with me, so if there's a big alert, then I'll just, skedaddle if that occurs.
As you all are walking along, the grayish.
I'm gonna put myself on speed to talk so that you're not harassed by the rain.
Jesus Christ.
That was loud.
That was very loud.
Is your walls made of tin? Alright, so as you're all walking along, as you're all walking along, you notice that the grayish green of the dead vegetation begins to slowly change color. No longer are you walking on what feels of dead grass, but instead living grass. And as you're moving along, you notice that the area is slowly tinting into a pinkish color. The air smells odd, coppery even, and as you continue along, you reach a spot where the grass is pink and the tree leaves are red.
Huh. Is there any reasoning behind the sudden change in coloration?
What do you do to try and figure this out?
What do you mean blood?
Would like to.
Beastie is
try.
saying that it smells like blood.
Does it smell like blood?
There is a coppery scent in the air.
Ah, that does smell bloody. Is there any chance I could do like a nature check to see if I can recall any knowledge from a natural textbook to determine why the topography has changed into a pickish hue?
Sure, roll nature.
Nature.
Did you same as well or no?
Sure, but as you look around, LV, you can't think of a natural reason as to why this is occurring. You also can't think of a natural reason why this is occurring. Beastie, especially due to the fact that you aren't wearing any shoes, each step you take is like walking on flesh. And as you look around, you notice that the leaves in the trees, when they sway in the wind, do not make the usual rattlings of leaves. You squint your eyes and you notice that it looks like each leaf looks as if it is made of a fleshy appendage, as if it is humanoid flesh.
When did we walk into a FromSoft game again?
I was gonna say, when do we walk into Silent Hill?
Jesus.
Julie's checking the vibes.
It is.
Well,
Minutes. You do not detect any undead, fiend, celestial, or aberration in this instance.
what aberrations?
Bless you.
You good?
Thank you. Yeah. I have very wheezy cough. It's very dry room.
Alright.
Oh, I forgot about that.
The rain has stopped trying to break into my fucking building.
For now.
Beastie will just say, before everything was dead, but now everything is alive. It's all the same thing.
I always forget this ability.
What? Is
I'm
there
immune.
any spell that could have caused this to happen?
Not as far as you're aware.
Okay. Because this
Unless
smacks
you
to me of like
I was
blood
gonna-
magic or something.
I'm gonna think to himself for a second. And then he's gonna use one of the spells he has not used in a while. Or one of the joke spells he hasn't used in a while. He's gonna cast Detect Life.
It lights up everywhere. The grass, the trees, even splotches of the air.
Gross.
Yeah, I just tried one of the spells to see where bacteria and everything is at, and literally everything is pinging off that it's alive,
Beastie's gonna start heading back. We know
including
go
the
thi-
air.
We know go this way. This too dangerous.
Is there something you know that we don't?
Beastie just like points to the trees. When a tree can eat you, elf, you go other way.
Many things can eat us.
Not a tree, not the grass.
Obviously, you've never been to the Feywild.
Either way,
I mean, Otto will just look at Aurelia.
Yes.
Can trees eat you in the Feywild?
No.
Yeah.
They are usually colored like this, though. And they do eat some people. Usually it's the very weak people, but, you know. Kinda happens.
Does this look similar to anything you've seen at your home?
Would I have to roll for that?
History.
History. Historically, I rolled a
use
1.
luck point. Use luck point to let you rule that.
Historically, I rolled slightly better.
You have
Nice.
you have never seen anything like this in the Feywilds.
Not that I can recall.
Everyone roll perception.
Oh my god.
The
The hills
Feywild
are
is-
alive with the sound of screams.
Yeah, pretty much.
The sound
Hills
of
are alive with the sound of ah!
I rolled another nat 1.
Wow.
Oh my
On the plus-
god.
On the plus side, there's an 18 before it.
Dude, are we using karma dice? Like, what the fuck is this? This is Baldur's Gate, dude. This is crazy.
Wow, we all rolled like shit, except for Adel.
Otto, my boy. Yeah, that's better, I guess.
oh my god.
All right, so
We've been hit with a
Adel?
lot of confusion.
Adel, Jubilee, Thorgrim, LV, Jorg, I think is.
That's Otto's 16.
Otto.
I was gonna say, thankfully Jubilee doesn't need to roll high for this. She's got
Oh.
very good perception.
All of you begin to hear a very wheezy, raspy voice, as well as soft footsteps, as you look to the northeast and you see a figure slowly heading towards you.
Oh,
Oh, what the
Oh.
fuck?
God.
Okay, says Adel while backing up.
What the fuck is that?
I think that we should follow the goblin's advice and not go through the forest.
Yes, perhaps that's a good idea.
Beastie scoffs and will mutter in goblin many things while walking the other way.
Stupid fucking tall people.
More like
We're just gonna back up while looking at it, and he's gonna look over the last light. Last light.
You see the last light staring at the creature as he is prepping his warhammer.
last light.
As we're backing away, can I do a what the fuck is that check?
Sure.
May I do as well, because I'm like observing it while doing defensive positioning between it and Adel.
Sure.
Arcana?
So what are the close rolls for that? So Otto do the same.
Let's see. You can roll a nature check to try and figure out what that is.
Nature's not my strong suit, but
Oh my god, this is the flesh that hates, ain't it, Jor? It's another SCP you're throwing at us, huh?
Whatever this was, it seems it used to be humanoid.
stop
Oh,
trying to
God.
make the trees scream, Jordan.
Oh, and Otto gets off of that as well, or no?
Yeah. Anyone who rolled nature gets that feel.
Yeah.
Did
Last light.
Yes, I'll roll nature.
backing up,
Yes.
backing
I feel like I've never seen anything like
Follow us, we're going another way.
Actually, Adel, or last light. Or I guess if anyone, if that thing sees us, do you think it's ever gonna stop following us?
If we can get away from it quick enough, then yes, but it should have no divine senses to follow us should we manage to escape. But now that it knows we're here, the rest of them will know we are here and they will be on the lookout.
All the
Oh,
more
once
reason
there's
that
more
we should
war.
go the long way.
Ew, 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 ew.
It does not help that if... Otto, did you say that there's stuff in the air, too?
Yeah, everything is alive here, essentially. There's
Last
also-
light, what
Oh,
happens
they
if we
can-
breathe that thing in?
I would assume you can be infected the same way you would be any other way.
Okay, we are leaving.
Some of us can't be infected at all.
Some,
Raises a
not
hand.
some, not all. We're leaving.
Yeah. I'm not taking that chance.
I'll just
Just
drag
saying.
Stubly along.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying you stay behind me.
Less talking,
Less
more
chance for you
walking.
to get ill. I'm moving. I'm
Thorgrim
moving.
walks over and like claps a mouth over her hand over Jubilee's mouth, like less talking, more walking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
keep
can do
stumbling
both.
backwards.
As you stumble, Last Light will catch you and will lift you, and says, "Be mindful of your foot."
Thank you, Mr. Man.
Beastie Man
What
Wallace.
exactly is that thing?
Deadly.
Oh.
Oh, Beastie Man Wallace grumbling and gobbling. It took a gigantic red thing appearing out of nowhere for people to start listening to me. Maybe if I grow a few feet more, people will start paying attention to what I say.
Once we get a far enough distance away, Elvie will walk to Beastie and say, and Goblin, I'm sorry. I should have listened to you.
Beastie will huff. People forget that I have spent many years alone in the wilds. I know when things are unsavory around here. Well, not here,
Yes.
but unsavory in general.
Yes, and we should have paid attention to the fact that everything around us was literally fleshy. Yes, I agree.
Also, that thing is probably going to follow us during the night, so we should be careful where we sleep.
Indeed.
So,
Yes,
are we...
against the riverbank.
It is beginning to get dark.
Oh boy.
Fun.
Are there any trees that are not alive?
The trees that were closer to the river appeared to not have undergone as vicious of an infection.
Mother of mercy. Okay. Beastie's going to look for the least infected looking tree. I will point to it while looking to Gloomhall and will say, Can you put your door into your mansion at the top of that tree?
That would involve me either flying up to it or climbing it.
Beastie points to Scalodius and Adel.
You want me to ask them to fly me up to the top of the tree and then use the mansion on that?
Yes.
Very well.
How are the rest of us gonna get up there then?
Beastie
One
will,
at a time.
Beastie will point to Scalodius and Adel again.
One at a time.
Scalodius
I can't
cannot.
fly anymore.
Scalodius is incapable of flying.
She'll then just point at Adel.
How often can you fly, Adelsarde?
Indefinitely.
Excellent.
Whether or not she can lift everyone is a different question.
Yeah.
That is fair.
Why not just find a big rock?
Yeah, rocks solve everything.
In this case,
And
that
what about-
would solve the problem.
I mean, what about looking at Elvie, your giant hand? Can that pick people up?
I do not have a well. And then
Zando.
she's reminded of the giant hand. Ah, yes, the giant hand. Of course. I suppose. Just looking at exactly how much weight it can carry. It's quite strong, so it should be able to carry us all. Oh yeah, it should.
That could. How long does your hand last?
Up to a minute. So I'd have to ferry us all up very quickly.
Okay.
if I cast it at a higher level, I can increase the damage when I crush you guys. I mean, what? So are we going to do that then?
A rock?
Or
No, doing
a
it at the
high
top
place?
of the tree.
Well, a rock, I suppose, would be easier than the tree. Beastie size. If we go on rock that thing can climb onto, then it would come after us still.
And who's to say it wouldn't also climb a tree?
It would have no indication that we were in a tree. I doubt if that thing used to be, unless that thing is actually somehow smart. I don't think it'll ever look up.
I'm
No.
not going to risk the fact that it is, or at least I would like to not risk the fact that it may be intelligent.
Even if it is, it shouldn't be able to see the door. The door is invisible.
Unless it was a wizard of some repute before.
It would have to be It would have to know what it was looking for. Then still.
I say we do it, and if it doesn't work out, we deal with it.
I suppose.
The more we spend time here debating it, the more time he has to catch up to us.
That is a
Alright.
good point. Elby will fly up and will, on a very large tree, will is the mansion, and then will do a Big B's hand ferry to carry as many people as she needs to up to the door.
Okay. You
I
are
also have
all,
a solution. Oh, go
you
ahead.
are
Sorry.
all now within the mansion.
All right. Now, I have a solution to potentially help us not have to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
George will, once everyone's in the mansion, will summon out his swords, and we'll slide them over to Jubilee.
Me?
Yes. When you use these swords, they essentially double your resources. And two versions of you can cast two spells that can get us all through this land without exactly having to, I guess, travel by land at this point.
I guess, yeah. Would it double the spell slots, or would it just split what I already have? Because that might be an issue.
On my thing, it doubles everything.
If it doubles,
They
then
get-
I can do that. Then I can do it.
My only,
That said, it's going to be interesting what two of me is like.
my only other concern is what Otto said earlier:
Which is?
the air.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, unless we fly high enough to where we aren't within the infected area, we could also be potentially just causing ourselves to be infected by flying through the air like that.
Well, you guys at least.
Well, I'm also immune to any type of disease, so
So you and I would be fine, but everyone else not so much is the problem. This place is quite the conundrum.
We need to be very careful of the places that we plan on going.
That's true. That's why this is one of the other solutions I could think of at the moment. I don't know if it's worth the risk to try it or not.
I see no reason not to. If we are far above the area, then it lessens our chances of getting infected.
But how far does it go? We don't know.
Beastie will just point up at the ceiling. Birds.
Are there birds flying outside?
No.
No.
Well, birds no get sick. In fact, no birds come here. But if birds could get sick, and if birds get sick when they hear, then that means everyone would be sick. But nowhere is sick except here. So we go as high as birds.
So we go as high as we think birds would go. We go until we're able to see birds.
Me no think that there are birds here. But we go as high as how birds fly. Then we be fine.
And how high is that exactly?
Depends on the bird. If it's European or African, swallow pretty fast, especially if unladen.
I don't know about that. Ah!
But very high. High enough that we almost reach clouds. That's how high.
So you're probably thinking more or less like 500 to 1,000 feet in the air.
What?
Really high up in the air.
Yes.
What do feet have to do with going high?
Exactly.
I'd say it's worth a shot then.
I guess the worst case scenario is some of us are equipped to try to cure diseases at least.
It's not a disease that you can cure, says Adel. More than likely.
I'm afraid she's correct. Many of my order attempted to do so.
The only theory we have going thus far is that we use the same method we did to cure the former cultists of the parasites that are currently housed in Haven. But even then, we don't know if that will work. Our best course of action is...
So yeah, we don't know if this is something that's parasitic or just the infection, like they said.
Actually, that brings up a good point. Parasitic. We saw things of flesh in the river, right?
Yes.
DM, if you could describe the things, was it just like lumps, or were they like strings?
It looked like a membrane on the bottom of the river.
Oh, okay. You know, I've been curious.
Yes.
You know, those parasites are probably the extraterrestrial dimensional type. But how would one house them for use in this area? In this dimension?
House them for use?
I mean, with the cultists and their parasites, how would you preserve them to be used? You can't just... They're still living organisms, otherwise they would just die off.
Well, from what we have seen with the cultists, it's more like they're pushed into them in some sort of either egg or larval form.
So where would you keep that?
If I were to hazard a guess, in the realm between realms. But based off of what we have seen so far, I think that their link is coincidental. I do not think that they are related. I do not think that the infection of this place had anything to do with a cult or with a puppeteer.
True, however, remember that stuff in the river?
Yes.
What if it's the housing to the infection?
You think that the infection is housed in the water?
What's the quickest way to spread a disease?
She looks
the
at
air.
the last light.
He looks back at you.
Does this seem plausible to you?
It is in the water. It is possible someone used it against us.
Is there like a central place other than the ocean, I guess, within the island that the water comes from?
Rivers that exist.
Yes, well,
Or the lake. Sorry, the lakes that exist, but other than that, no. We rely mostly on rainfall from
Do
the
we have a
Philipper.
map of the island?
I'm afraid I do not.
What I mean, more or less, is there like it's like a central or main lake that you guys tended to use more than others?
There were a handful of rivers. There was one in the center of the island that I know of, but there were a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe, maybe 6.
I think the lakes might be worth investigating then.
I think it would be safer to avoid them. Reality.
Or
Yeah.
it could be a way to, without nuking the entire island, a way to burn away the parasite or the disease. Sorry.
I'm
The
not
thing about
so
it is
sure.
that if we do that, we only stop the spread. There's no guarantee that that'll actually cure anyone.
True. I'm just putting that theory out there for last, more than anything, in case his plan doesn't get to its part.
The unfortunate thing is that... Actually, hold on. Last light.
Yes.
When the last time you saw the moon, have you ever seen it be red or anything like that?
I remember seeing it be red on a handful of occasions, but... Why?
Do you remember... Before you ended up locked in that room, do you remember how long ago before that you first saw the blood moon? The red moon?
No, I'm afraid I do not.
Damn it. Wait. Did this infection occur during one of the times when the moon was red?
Not as far as I am aware.
Okay, so those aren't related either. I was thinking this could be some offshoot of ether, but it doesn't look like it.
It wouldn't ether. Well, I guess ether does corrupt, but
Yes. Someone could turn ether into some sort of disease, and then it would infect things to this degree.
Do you want my theory, milady?
Yes.
This is all a byproduct of the Lich's doing.
The pirate? Deadbeard?
It's a byproduct of it, as it were. A side effect. Probably him gaining his power over time is what caused all this to happen.
Perhaps. Whatever is on this island is linked to him in some way, shape, or form.
So it would stand to reason that the infection might be his fault.
Maybe
Not
this-
intentionally, mind you, but
we're just gonna think to himself for a second. We've been... Well, I guess he does have ghostly figures, but we've been working on the assumption that he's just a lich, right?
Yes. At least,
But if
that's
he's-
what my dad believes.
But if he's also in some way like infected as well as a lich,
If he were infected, then the infection would have spread to Crestfall by now. Or worse, it would have infected the ocean entirely.
I guess that's true.
unless there's something in the ocean preventing it from spreading.
The only reason it hasn't reached the ocean thus, as far as we know, is because the Last Light and his Paladin Corps set up dams to block the rivers from the oceans. Right? And she looks to the Last Light.
Yes, but through the years, I assume they have not been maintained or handled. There's there's no guarantee that they're still structurally sound.
Yes.
It could also be the fact that it just either it's very slow, very extremely slow spreading, or it's just the fact that the ocean's too big for it to actually succeed in spreading anywhere of note.
Beastie will shake her head.
I was thinking of.
No, it's not. And no matter how big something like that is, one fish catches, fish get eaten by other fish, or fish die. Fish go to the bottom of the ocean, and then it decompose, and lots of fish eat it. Then those fish that ate it get sick, and then they go out everywhere, and so on and so on. Ocean not too big for an illness like this to spread.
Correct. But I think the ocean has something in it that most of the water around here doesn't.
Well, this place was home to paladins. Maybe someone consecrated the ocean.
What does the ocean hold?
Salt.
Fish?
Jubilee
Salt.
said salt.
Fresh
Salt
water
water.
versus salt water, yeah. It's the only thing I can think of that's the difference, and maybe the reason why the infection hasn't spread further than the island.
Well, I am aware that salt is used as a preservative for some foods, especially fish. I'm not sure of the exact sciences, but it could be that the salt has something that pushes away the disease.
Luckily, we have
That's the only thing
someone-
I've got to go on. I'm not 100% sure, though.
Luckily, we have someone very studied in the sciences we could probably ask.
Ada looks over at Gloomhollow.
I'm sorry. My mind was elsewhere. What were we talking about?
Is there anything in salt that prevents it from, or would allow it to halt the spread of this disease?
Well, there is such a thing as salinated water.
What's that?
Water with salt in it.
Okay, but why does salt and salt water, why would that be what's keeping the disease locked to this island?
Well, here's the thing. Applying science and magic is a very difficult thing because we have to consider two different worlds, essentially, and how they would connect together.
How they would interact.
How they would interact, exactly. Now, normally, the properties of saline and the appearance of the salt within the water would change its properties quite dramatically. However, the added... How would I say this? The added X factor of magic may change such things as the thermal conductivity, the density, the concentrations even further.
So what if it wasn't magic, says Beastie.
I'm actually looking it up right now. Hold on. I actually work with saline quite a bit, but I only
Science.
work with it in a sense of like wound treatment. So
Science, bitch!
So, what was the question
Meanwhile, in
again?
the corners, there's Scalodius just kind of looking confused.
So, what was the
All
question
this
again?
going over his head.
What is it in salts that would repel or stop the spread of disease? And would that also apply to salt water?
I'm looking it up. Well, it really depends on what kind of salt. Is it because different salts react differently to, in terms of, how old the salt is, the what the chemical composition of the salt is. Or if we're talking simple sodium chloride, that's one thing, but there are many different types of many different elements, salt included.
Alright. Ricardo, Romero, do you have any idea about the salt in the water around here?
The salt from the ocean?
Yes.
It's salt.
That's
Just regular
normal.
everyday sodium chloride.
That's not entirely true. Sodium chloride was created by, I believe, a human. By mixing sodium and chlorine together.
But what I mean is the salt in this water is the same salt that is in any other ocean or body of water like that, yes?
Yes, but maybe? I'm not sure, actually.
We're a bit too far from the ocean to test that now. But let's just...
Even if we got close enough, who's to say we wouldn't be infected by the very thing we're trying to prevent?
In the ocean? No. No, in the ocean, there was no sign of infection.
Not at the moment.
Wait. The Paladin was right next to the coast. Why didn't it infect the water?
Very good question I do not have the answer to.
No, but that in of itself is a sign. The Paladin did not infect the water, but the moment it saw someone infect-worthy, i.e. us, it basically lunged at us. It's not that it couldn't. It's not that it didn't infect the water, it's that it couldn't. So that means there really is something in the ocean water, be it salt or perhaps something else, that is stopping it from spreading and it's keeping it here. Plus, the fact that birds have stayed away from here, or are flying too high above, it essentially means that unless the dams are staying strong after all these years, which is potentially unlikely, or the disease is completely ignoring birds, which is equally unlikely, the disease is basically stuck here, not unless someone accidentally or purposefully brought it out of the island.
Which is very possible.
Yes, especially with us and your sister here. Sibling, sorry. I will get used to that soon.
Eventually.
But given how long that this disease has been around, it is not sentient, otherwise it would have spread by now. Nell snaps her fingers. I think I figured it out.
Well,
Yes. The unfortunate thing is that the Last Light's plan to basically glass the island is the safest thing to do. Because, like it or not, the longer this stalemate stays in place, the longer something is going to happen that will break the balance. Us being here might be that, in fact. But, with how the island is, as well as the infection, all the lakes that are here, all the areas of the island which are clusters of large biological beings, such as trees, those are the most dangerous places we can go. The safest ways we can go is to go through wastelands, deserts, things along those lines. And we need to stay away from large bodies of water like lakes, because those are a hotbed for the infection. if there are any civilizations that were around here, we would also need to avoid those as well, because they would have turned into beings like we saw once we left the forest. Whatever this thing is, I do not think it is magical. I do believe that it is purely biological. But I am unsure of what its source is. The fact that it was not able to be cured by magic means that magic does not see it as a disease. Perhaps a parasite, perhaps a symbiosis even. But it is both natural and unmagical.
That also implies that that would also imply any immunity given by magic wouldn't be effective.
Yes. Because it's not a disease, though I am using that word in lieu of what it could actually be. It is something else entirely.
So perhaps more of a curse?
No. Not a curse.
Perhaps it is. Perhaps it is a disease, just simply not from this plane.
Yes. An interplanar disease.
It didn't set off my senses, unfortunately.
Perhaps it's not considered to be an aberration.
An interplanar disease that does not trigger aberration senses.
Oh. I think the aberration sense is when it gets into the person. Kind of acts as like a barrier, I guess, because remember when we fought the first thing at that cave, it didn't. Nothing really pinged until it actually showed up out of the host. It was out of the body it was in.
So, wait a minute, hold on. So, I have a really dumb theory, but it's a thing. Since it's from, like, another planet or plane of existence or whatever, what if the reason that it doesn't ping as an aberration is because it's not an aberration in regards to where it came from? What if it's normal and we're the aberrations?
Interesting thought.
That would be an interesting thought, in my opinion, if it wasn't in a plane that isn't its own.
Who's to say that it's not?
Aberrations refer to creatures that live on the outskirts of the realms, or in the realms between, not necessarily something that doesn't belong on our plane. For example, if this disease came from the material plane, it would be a material disease, so to speak.
Aurelia,
Hmm?
do you know anything about Feywild diseases at all? Or infections?
I'm gonna roll a nature check. I have not studied enough.
Clearly not.
Yeah, let's try medicine. I have a 1 in that. Oh,
Mercy.
Same amount.
what about
of
survival?
clue, which is not one.
Oh, 2
That's
more.
stealth.
9, 11.
That's
Oh
stealth.
god. I was 1 year old. I was 1 year old.
What?
Baby.
It was
Holy
you!
fuck,
It was
I'm
you the whole
old.
You're a
time!
decade younger than me?
I am fucking old.
Hey, rolled a 14 on that on athletics. Hold on. Wait, we're going up.
Why are you rolling athletics?
Religion, surely diseases are religion based. I rolled a nat 20. Let's go.
Eventually.
Eventually.
So, this is not a Feywild disease as far as you know.
Alright.
You're still a little shaken from what you saw.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I've never been in combat, so you guys can piece with that what you will.
I'm just gonna assume it isn't from the Feywild then.
Shakes her head.
Me no think that's that weird, says Beastie. It act like other diseases too. Just the way how it's work after that is a bit weird. But me have seen many things like this before.
Well, we need to make a decision then, in that case, if we're sticking with our initial objective, or we're going to try to figure out what's causing this.
We should probably stick with our initial objective. It might be one and the same. At least with whatever it is that's causing Deadbeard's powers, we know where to go. Actually,
In that case, tomorrow, when I think me and you are on the same wavelength here. Fatal?
yes. Though, she'll take a look at the compass.
It's spinning in circles.
Really? She didn't even say what she wanted yet.
We're in a different
You're in an
dimensional plane.
alternate dimension.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
I guess I will check it tomorrow.
Oh, are we about to go on a long rest?
Yes.
Hopefully.
That seems to be the plan. Whether that will actually work is another matter.
Last light.
Yes.
Before the
Sorry, wrong voice. Yes.
Before the infection, what can you tell me about this lab? Like, what was it like before?
It's full of greenery, life, the usual trades that a small island like ours would have.
Was
It
this
was very nice.
was this place known for anything?
Apart from our order trying to make sure that we stayed safe, no. In fact, we didn't even really have contact with anyone outside of our island.
That could be it then. The last part is that they don't have contact with anyone from the outside.
Yes.
Essentially, this place is... There's a term for it that I'm missing here.
Isolated?
Yeah. An isolated island with only an order, one singular order to protect it, and no way of normally getting contact to the outside. It's either a perfect place to invade or set up shop, or to experiment and do things too.
Sounds more like an experiment to me. If it were an invasion, someone would have taken their place. And we would have seen signs of them aside from the disease. Who on earth would be so cruel as to release something like this? Actually, now that I think about it, there are several candidates for that.
I mean, don't we have contact with plague doctors? Or plague doctors' masks? Things like that?
Well, there is Kane and Grudge. I'm unsure if they would know anything. But we could ask them.
It wouldn't hurt.
Okay, well, then look at Thorgrim.
Lorgrim's currently eating.
Thank you, DM. I appreciate that.
Well,
Let me read this
there
because I'm about to start prepping something.
There has been a long rest since you were given the book, so...
Okay, so I got something. Hold on for you.
Sorry, what?
What?
Aurelia's doing
Okay.
stuff. Don't worry about it.
I am very worried about it.
Timeline shenanigans about to occur, eh?
Someone's gonna go back another 200 years.
Yup. We look outside the door and then the disease is gone and everything's back in its prime. It's like, what the fuck happened?
Then you look back
okay,
at
the
LB's
DM,
like
the
a
DM now
5-year-old.
knows what I'm doing.
I had a feeling I already knew what you were planning.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't like this at all.
Oh no.
After the encounter with that time thing, I feel like this might be a trick she has.
Oh no.
Are we waiting for something, or are you just chilling?
You all can continue. It's fine.
Morgan, can you please contact Dr. Kane or Dr. Grudge and let them know about what's going on here and ask if they know anything?
Thorgrim turns to you, and there's a chicken leg in his mouth, and he goes, and he pops it out, and he goes, okay, hang on a second, where's the damn thing? All right, nope, aha! Thump, on goes hat. Thump, on goes mask.
It is very quiet.
Paging.
Once again, we are in an extra dimensional, different dimensional space, so I might not be able to contact them from here.
Paging Dr. Kane. Paging Dr. Kane.
You get no reply.
I suppose you can try again once we are outside the mansion.
The number you have dialed is not available at this time. Please hang up and try your call again. Damn it.
Well, I don't think there's anything more that we can do today.
So when I do this, do I just have to DM you so you keep track, or should I keep track?
You should tell me
Okay.
how you're doing it.
Okay. Oh, this. I fear for if something does happen to this.
What do
Oh,
you mean
don't
you fear if?
Don't you worry. I fear as well.
Oh god.
Because this is something that I have done before, and I already knew what you were planning.
Oh god.
Oh, okay.
I already know what it is, and this is
Do
gonna
you
be
say
some
it?
fucked
Say
up
it.
shit.
I mean, it's not fucked up. It's just.
You do not
Yeah, it is.
understand. The previous campaign it changed so much shit.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I mean, the DM thought it was funny, so it can't be that dangerous, right?
That's because he was the one that did it last campaign. Of course he finds it funny.
I don't think anyone else knows, so it's okay.
That might
In
be
that
it, but I don't want to
case-
say anything.
Yeah, I want it to be a surprise if it ever comes up.
Oh my god. It's happening all over again.
What is?
You know what is.
DM me, and we'll see how correct you are.
Anyway, so are we at least in agreement that we should do the 2 Jubilees thing at least?
Sorry, what was Jubilee's thing? Oh, right. Yes, we should.
Oh my god.
Well, this will be interesting.
Alright, George will then hand Jubilee the swords, and we'll get the advantages of tough to attune to.
I guess I'll forego any translations tonight. Focus on attuning. George, out of curiosity, are your two halves the same personality?
Usually it's 2 different traits. So, for example, one is my more brash, angry, I guess, side, and the other one's my more logical, thinking side.
Oh, this is going to be very interesting. It looks to Adel. All I can say is I'm sorry in advance.
Do keep in mind that whatever transgressions you perform, despite being two separate people, I will hold you personally responsible.
Yeah, Julie, at the end of the day, it's
No.
still you.
Times 2.
Funny enough, I think only one of them will probably give you trouble.
That's one of them, is still you, so you will suffer the consequences.
As always. And here I thought you'd be happy to have one of me that wasn't a problem.
We will see.
I already have ideas how to play this.
This one is gonna be a bit to help us get through stuff.
I know, but I'm going to use it to the fullest ability.
Luna. I'm going to have fun with you. So, you're all taking your long rest?
Yes.
Yep, and I'm attuning to the blade.
All right, so you have that written down. I can't wait to DM you every night about that now. Guys, I
Oh,
think we
you
should
hear
take
that?
long rests way more often. I'm gonna be honest.
Keep in mind, you can only take you can't just spam long rests like you can in BG3.
Guys, hear me out. Let's just get a bunch of supplies. Let's just sleep a couple days in a row.
Pretty sure if you do that in BG3, you just end up failing a bunch of side quests.
Do you?
Weirdly, I've only noticed only one quest is time related.
Yeah, there's only one
I haven't
quest.
beaten it yet. Don't
Really?
spoil it. I need to beat it this weekend. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I won't be able to keep it another week.
Wait, how far are you in?
I'm still in Act
The last
1.
thing I saw. Wait, you're still in Act 1?
Well, actually, I'm at the very beginning of Act 2. But yes, I've been playing the game very
Okay, I don't want to say
slowly.
anything then, because I'm a bit
I
past
will
that.
say the only thing that's time constraint is in Act 1.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I didn't know it was time constrained, so it's like, hey, I'm gonna save these gnomes later, and then I leave and I come back. It's like, oh, okay.
Wait, what is time constrained in Act 1?
So whenever you have to save the drow who's stuck behind the collapsed doorway,
Oh, Nero. Yeah.
if you take a long rest after discovering that area, the dwarves break in with the slaves, decapitate him, leave, and take the gnomes with them.
Oh, shit.
And then there is that
Oh,
burning
mine didn't
building,
do that
of course.
actually. My guy died of the gas leak.
I tried to
That's
talk
really
to him. I was hoping I had, like, female drow dialogue with Nero or whatever. I was a lolf drow or whatever.
I should have let that dude die. That boss fight was fucking nuts.
Yeah, on honor mode, that fight is pretty fucking rough. I
What's
kept
even
held
worse
personing
is
him.
that, like a fucking idiot, I sold a bunch of my scrolls to the shopkeeper that was in
Wait,
that
did
place.
you do it on honor mode or did you do it on like tactician?
I don't know. It was just normal mode
Guys,
for
there-
me.
There are cliffs nearby. You just throw them off the cliff and you're fine.
In one of
So-
my
You have
playthroughs,
to
I
cut off
did
his
do
head.
that, where I was like stealthily taking out all of the enemies beforehand. But in the first one I did, I sold my scrolls to the shopkeep in that same room, and then he fucking used all of them on me.
I think we all need to play together again, just to see what kind of shenanigans we can get up to.
Yeah, Nero was never a problem for me because I just picked him up and yeeted him into the lava.
I needed
Yeah,
his
same.
you get
I
a
just shoulder
helmet
checked
if you
him
get
into
his
it.
head to the.
Hey, you can still get his head and all of his stuff. You just have to jump in the lava.
Oh shit, is it still there?
Or find a platform nearby.
It's
to
probably
jump
suddenly
to,
still
like I
there, I
did.
think, so.
Oh.
Just getting it out of the lava.
Well, our plan
When
wasn't
in
too
doubt,
bad. I just
shelf
held
checks are
person
your
so his
friends.
because in honor mode he has like a legendary action that like if you do damage to him, he does AoE damage to that person every
Man.
time. And he can do it
Yeah.
like 2 times a turn. It's fucking nuts. So what I did was I was playing Bard, so we just held person him, and he couldn't use those reactions. It helped a lot more.
Oh yes, the fuck you hold person.
Yeah, hold person, and then I next turn got to sword Bard him to death. It was awesome.
Again, this group playing Baldur's Gate would be interesting.
Just a long rest thing after Jubilee does her thing and George is attuned to the gloves of tough. Bandages of
Now
tough.
Jubilee's tuned to the sword.
Sword, sword,
Alright.
sword, sword, sword.
So, the night goes on without a hitch, and you all wake up the next morning.
So, at the breakfast table. So, George, how long does this last again?
Does what last?
The splitting?
Until you decide to stop it.
Alright, that's good. At least I'll have control over that.
Yeah, but you need to at least be close to each other in order to actually bring yourself back together. You can't be on opposite sides of the realms and all of a sudden they combine.
Makes sense. Alright. Well, whenever we're ready to head out, I guess I'll get ready to split. I can hear all the typing.
That's Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was
Learning.
typing
Learning.
shenanigans.
No, I reminded Luna of something, and I think they're beginning to realize just what their shenanigans means for them.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's see what happens. Take it we're all outside ready to go.
Do you go outside?
I guess the next morning, Beastie will open the door and pop her head out.
Open the door of your room?
No, the mansion.
Okay. You look around, everything seems fine.
Don't forget, we're on the top of a tree, Beastie, so if you go out, you're more likely just gonna fall straight down.
Sorry, what? Ah!
Ah, me know that. Me has slept in top of a tree before.
Wait, that's so much. Oh god.
Yeah, I may have to
Oh,
limit. I may have to limit your plans now that you're beginning to understand the whole problem with this.
Oh god. I didn't think it was like that much damage, but it's a lot already. Wait.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Power build.
I wish you. I'm glad you think that's what it is. It's a lot more. Oh god. Oh, why did I think of this?
Trust me, I am extremely aware of people breaking the game.
I think I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna let you have your fun, but I am going to have to limit you.
Oh
you know.
god. Like I'm like doing the math right now. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there.
So right now, I do math.
But anyway, Beastie, as far as you can tell, everything is fine.
He shuts the door. He thinks everything is okay.
Alright.
So are we all just leaving the mansion and going on our merry way now?
After breakfast,
Breakfast. Oh, nom, 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 fucking gross.
We'll have his breakfast and everything, and then we'll make sure he has everything ready to go.
breakfast as well. And Beastie will just have some meat. Water.
Okay.
Hey, Candleman.
You see him presently praying before he looks over and says yes.
If you stuck inside a room for so long, why you not crazy?
What do you mean?
If you locked inside a room, a quiet room, with nothing but rats, then that makes people crazy. But you
There
not
were no
crazy.
There were no rats.
Oh. She nods.
Rats that make me crazy.
Me understand. So then if there were rats, you'd be crazy.
I guess.
She in fact did not understand.
Beastie nods knowingly. And takes...
Something, padded room, something.
Yes, it seems like some important information has been added to her banks. In order to make someone crazy, lock them in a room with rats. But if you lock them in a room with no rats, they'll be perfectly fine.
Because rats make you crazy.
Yes. Well, once breakfast has been consumed,
Breakfast has definitely been consumed at this point.
Alright, Jubilee. Are you ready to enact your transportation plan?
Well, I mean, it's more George's plan, but yes.
You are the enactor of said plan, though.
Yes. Still, I don't want to take credit for something that wasn't my idea. That said, Jubilee will activate and split in two.
Okay.
And when she does show, one of the halves seems a lot more studious and a lot more serious. Like if they had glasses, they'd be pushing them up if she could. The other one now is kind of has eyes locked on Adel now.
Adel just looks back to her. Arms folded behind her back as she just waits.
Yes, we really need to focus. Start trying to get the other one's attention real quick. Seems like her studious side and her flirtatious side have split apart.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I apologize, milady. I will make sure to keep this one in check.
At least you have retained some of your impulse control.
Yes, well, I don't have... Well, one of us... My word, this is very difficult to explain. We do have some control, we just... Sometimes it's override by our desire to appease and show affection. As this one is clearly demonstrating, pulls the ear.
Wonder if I should be concerned for Hubert's safety.
I'd be concerned about yours too, milady. Anyways.
Perfectly fine. Alright.
But, come on, there's two of us now. We can handle both. No.
Adel
We have a duty to do.
Adel shoots the 41 an expression that says, "Give me a reason."
Oh, please. No. There's a lady you're thinking about. Seems like the two seem to be arguing a lot with each other, too, you notice. Almost like Jubilee always has an internal conflict when it comes to this situation.
Are we ready at least?
Yes, we are. and thus the spell shall be cast twice over.
Okay.
By the power of farts.
Poof!
Fart power activate.
Alright.
And now we're gonna zip in the direction we were supposed to go.
Well, first, Arrow's gonna go up towards the cloud layer, and then we shall go this way.
Just remember, milady, we have 8 hours, so keep a track of the time.
Yes. So, Jor, how many squares should we move?
Let's see. Given the fact that it gives you 300-foot flying speed, and you could travel 2 squares a day. 2 squares a day. I'll say you can travel 10 squares a day.
Goddamn.
Wow.
Alright.
I will say, keep it in mind, that's not when dashing. It's 300 feet normal. Dashing is double.
Technically speaking, dashing will not increase the speed.
Fair enough.
Alright. So, 10 squares. 5, so
Think-
50.
You want to go up
Here?
one.
If we go 50 here, we'll end up at the lake. Or in the
I was
forest.
saying because it was like up. Because didn't the compass point like out here? Pretty sure last time.
It was pointing in this direction. But
It was
would...
pointing this direction, which I would actually then say, why don't we go this way? Because then we're along the riverbank still.
Yeah, but that's still in the forest.
Well,
we
it's
go-
going to be in the forest no matter which way we go, to be fair.
If we go this way, there's no forest there. So
That's
we
all
There
could...
could be other dangers we're not aware of then.
Yeah,
It's a long detour then.
I think a detour would be safer, but I guess we can just leave it up to a vote.
I say let's stick with what's familiar for now.
Alright?
Because then again, because we're close to a mountain range at that point, you know? Because our second trip could take us up here.
Okay. Aurelia? Sorry, Luna? Matt? What do you two think? Should we go up this way? Or should we go this way?
Two proposed
Just right
pathways. to
essentially
take.
going right, which is more of a direct route towards where we gotta go, and the left is more of a detoured route to where we gotta go.
Yeah. Basically going this
and
way.
what are the pros and cons to both?
Going this way would end up... We'd have to spend at least a day in the forest. But it
But it would
would...
only take us 3 days to get our destination.
Yes. Meanwhile, if we go this way, there's less vegetation and all that, so there's less likely for there to be more of the infected whatever the fuck over here. But it would take us longer to go which way we had to go.
It would definitely take at least an extra 3 days, I think, if you measure it out.
Yeah.
So find safe route or risky
So it's-
route?
Shorter path, risk. Longer path, less risk.
Before us, we
But
have a
unknown
Dead by Daylight
factors.
decision to make.
It's also guaranteed
Like
that
daylight.
that actually is going to
You
be
mean
less
until
safe
dawn?
either way.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Right idea, wrong series.
Well, we talking players, not characters.
Yeah,
We're talking
but
players
player
right
vote.
now.
yeah, but I don't know which one to pick because one would pick one way, one would pick the other way, and I don't know what I would pick as a player.
That's
Alright.
fair.
Hmm.
So that's
I don't
that.
really
We'll
know.
just say a non-vote there.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know direction too well.
Okay, so there's 2 non-votes, 1 for safe and 2 for risky. So risky we go. So where will we end up going? Can you draw the...
All right, let me map it out again.
Alright.
Be around here, then the mountain area for a safe area, and then around here, which is where I think the compass is pointing.
We can always just check the point, like compass at the end of every day, just to make sure we're still on the same path.
True, and we can adjust accordingly. But if you look at this is the most secure route that doesn't take us immediately to a lake. the lake in the middle, at least.
All right.
Just so you guys know, if we end up dying, I'm blaming you two.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
New
well,
character.
guess what?
I need to roll me some D100s.
Who,
Yeah.
me?
No,
So you've done it
me.
like one square at a time, or just like doing it 10 was fine?
Say you can do 2 squares at a time.
So, 5 D100s?
I'm rolling the D100s. You move 2 squares at a time.
Okay. Can you put the arrow up again, Chaos?
Son of a bitch.
I just want to just draw a line.
Alright. That's
I put
2.
you one.
I swear it was closer.
Yeah, I put you 1 square too far back, so I'll move you 1 square forward. There you go.
Okay.
Hold on.
I was wondering why my measurements were off.
There we go.
The lines are just close enough, so
You can
just go to where the 50 circle is.
You can move another 2 squares.
1. Wait. 1, 2.
Hold on.
Wish I could hold it there. I
can.
can't just constantly.
If you go to your
Well, I'm
ruler,
holding the button.
if you go to your ruler, you'll see fade, delay, instant, and linger, and then you just leave it there.
Oh.
You may move 2 squares again.
All right. 1, 2.
I need people to roll a perception check.
Oh
boy.
god.
Oh god, is the
I
thing
miss
back? I
Estella.
hope
She had
it's
such
not
high
back.
perception.
So, do I roll twice for Jubilee? Because there's 2 of her?
Yes.
Heh, funny.
God damn it, George.
Thorgrim does not care currently.
Well, the lustful one is busy looking at her objects of affection.
Damn, Otto. Okay.
We are winning
Damn.
right now. There's nothing to
Team
look
Smart
at.
people go.
God. No, sorry, I just wanted to do that for just a little
Golodius
bit.
is apparently paying attention.
Metal Gear Solid noise.
Aw.
Wait, that reminds me.
Alright, so let's see. As you're all flying along, except for Otto, I think, who rolled the 5.
No,
Uh,
that was George.
Ah,
I think.
then
wait,
George.
What 5? No, that wasn't. That was my
That was
portents.
Thorgrim.
George rolled.
Okay.
George rolled an 11. Otto rolled the crit.
You gotta roll your port
The what?
beginning of the day.
Yeah, I know.
To quit.
The quit.
The crit.
I
No,
quit.
I heard something completely different.
Yeah, me too.
Uh,
Quit.
Hey!
Hell yeah.
So as you're all flying along, enough of you notice that below you there appears to be an encampment of sorts that looks a little dilapidated, but has a few buildings that seem structurally sound-ish.
Last light. What was this place?
I do not know.
Never been here when things were normal, or?
That is not something I recognize, having been built before I was sealed away.
Ah.
Could have been a survivor encampment, maybe.
If it were survive. Actually, what are these structures made out of?
You cannot tell from the height that you are at. You just know it's there.
Hmm.
In order to figure that out, you'll have to land in it.
I do not know if that is a good idea.
I mean, do we want to make sure the path to the compass hasn't changed to where we're going to need to go?
Let me see the spell real quick. We can
You
revert.
cannot look. You can
but-
revert and you'll start falling.
Yes, but can we revert back afterwards, or?
Yes, it lasts for 8 hours, so
Okay.
you can go down and do a little investigating and transform again, so long as it has not been 8 hours.
May as well, I guess. The more information we know about this place and its potential inhabitants, the better. Especially if we're going to let it be glassed.
Yep. I do want to try something out as well with the compass once we get down there.
Alright. Down we go.
And we're going down, 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 down.
Oh, great. I am instantly regretting.
As
That
you
is
land, you do
really
notice that the land is tinted red. But at this point, you're assuming that that's just going to be how things are going to be in this area. As you look around, you notice that all of the buildings that are here appear to have jars that have various. The easiest way to explain it would be samples of certain creatures. There are some fleshy lumps within some of them. And Elvie in particular, you notice that these structures are very similar to makeshift research labs of your people.
cool. Elvie is just gonna stop, take a look around, and just sort of.
Before we get anywhere close... Actually, hold on. Wait, we're wind. Does wind breathe? Wind doesn't breathe.
Wind created more wind.
Ale is concerned about us breathing in the potential infection, but if we're wind, I don't think that will be a factor.
Milady, if I may,
Which one
as
is
I am
saying
immune
this?
to this, the logical one.
I thought we had already discussed that you might not be immune to this disease.
Yes, but seeing as how I am split and, well, one of me seems to be giving you more than enough attention, I believe it'd be safest if one of me went in. That way, if an infection were to occur, then I simply return back to my former self and be fine.
I don't think
not how that
it
works.
work that way.
It'll just still be an infection. You're still technically you. You're just in half.
Alright.
Miscalculation on my part, then. I apologize.
Let's just remain in wind form. I think we should be at least immune. It's not like anything can lacerate us and we're not... Joel, are we breathing as wind?
I mean, you have to be able to breathe. You're still creatures.
Fuck. Huh.
Well, lady, maybe we should just leave for now, as this seems like a dangerous thing to stay around.
Wait, what am I doing? I friggin' forgot I could do this. Okay, hold on. Ale is going to spawn an Arcane Eye. Wait, do I have Arcane? I don't have Arcane Eye. I was misremembering something.
I can do that. Do not worry.
Yes.
Elvie will spawn her very special arcane eye that only she can do.
Special eyes.
It's a literal eye.
What's the range of the Arcane Eye?
The range of her ability, that is a class ability that she has, is in this Can spawn it anywhere within 60 feet of you. Can move. Oh, if it is ever more than 300 feet away,
All
then
right.
it should be fine.
Let's head up 300 feet, and Gloom Hollow can search with the arcane eye.
Has to be lower than 300 feet.
Let's move up to 250 feet, and Gloom Hollow can search with the arcane eye.
Yes, the Eye of the Storm shall examinate this makeshift location, this makeshift research laboratory.
Roll investigation.
Investigation. Suitable investigating.
Is it fucking raining again? Oh my god, it is.
It's not nearly as loud as it was.
Thankfully.
Yep. Yeah, we can't hear it.
Okay, well, I got silent. I'm grabbing water. Please don't kill us. With, like, a monster while I'm...
Well, it might not be a monster. Who knows?
As your eye looks around, it sees various jars filled with various things. You're not entirely sure what. They look to be fleshy growths of sorts, tumors. And
Do they resemble the ones at the bottom of the water?
Yes, but more complex, more viscous.
Ew.
Has
Yeah.
more substance to it as well.
Okay, so they're growing. Great.
Gross.
And what appears to be a document packet.
Oh, wonderful. The eye will go to the document packet and see if there's anything immediately readable.
The title of the packet, written in Elvish. Hold on. Let's see. I had my notes. I had a way to say this prim and proper. Documentation Study Results, Volume 1.
Excellent. Just going to pull up my notes now, so I can write down your notes on my notes. It's taking forever. Documents Research Findings, Volume 1?
Two.
Yes. 1.
Oh.
LV will see if there's any other documents laying about, like perhaps a Volume 2.
Not near there.
Okay. Is there any other things of note that I can see with my investigation?
No.
Okay, then I shall retreat the eye to where we are for the moment.
Did you see anything?
It appears that there is a research document inside the structure. Perhaps the findings based on what they have found on this particular island in terms of the information they have gathered about this cursed disease thing. They have also obtained specimens of the strange flesh-like growths that have been accumulating in the water.
How old did the paper look? And was it in common?
I could only see the cover. It was in Elven, and it was document research findings volume 1. I'm assuming there are more volumes at some other location.
Okay, but how old did the cover look?
How old did the cover look? Did it look new?
It seemed magical in nature to remain intact.
It was magically protected, so who knows?
Does it look like there was a fight in the area? Or...
No, it seemed rather well contained.
Does it look like the fleshy tint on this area? On the tents, for example. Did it look like it grew over it, or was it always like that?
You mean, like, does the tent itself have fleshy growths?
Yes.
That was not described to me. That was not described to me, so I'm assuming no.
You all can see that there are fleshy growths on the ground, and it looks like it has been invaded to a degree, but the buildings are still standing.
But
The
they are...
buildings. And all the buildings are just tents.
Some look like tents, some look like hastily structured shacks and whatnot, but
Like, this looks like a ramshackle building. That looks
Shacks, huh?
it looks hastily constructed, we'll say.
a temporary domicile, to be sure.
Looks like it was a team of people that came here, most likely researching this stuff.
Or perhaps, if it wasn't a team and Lysanthir came alone, they would have used their magical abilities to construct it.
If they were using their magical abilities to construct it, you would have a better idea of that knowledge than us. Is your sibling capable of doing such things?
Oh,
Or
I'm
would they make a
most certain.
magnificent mansion?
I do not know if they're capable of making a magnificent mansion, but I do know that they are at least capable of lifting things with things such as Mage Hand.
Then why would they make that stuff and not a tent?
I do not know.
The only reason there would be to make a building instead of relying on tents would be if the tents were not enough. And if it's one person, tents would be enough.
Possibly. That does make sense.
And does your sibling tend to work alone?
They have been known to be withdrawn as people. They are not what one would call an extroverted personality.
Then I do not think that the shack was them. The tent, maybe, but the shack must have been made before they were here.
Possibly.
Unless they were forced to work with others.
That is a possibility.
Yes, I feel like that would be a likelihood, actually, considering they probably objected several times.
Do you recognize your sibling's handwriting?
Did I recognize it on the documentation? Was that...
It appeared very similar.
It does appear that the document of the research findings that I had located was in their handwriting.
Did the journal itself look like it was covered in the flesh or anything like that?
No.
It seemed like it was magically protected, so...
Ugh. Okay. Otto.
Yeah?
Can you send Hoppy to get the book?
Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you.
Otto will then command Hoppy to lie down and retrieve the book. He'll first ask Elby to describe where the book was and how it looked.
I will describe it in acute detail. Location and the way it was designed.
Rather than an ugly detail, I understand.
It was a But it was a very acute detail. So acute.
Rather than an
That
obtuse
happens.
detail.
Yes.
I
Doesn't
added
I'm
I
never
added a
obtuse.
yellow square to represent the documentations.
Okay. Yep. Otto will then head down. And we'll land. And I'm just gonna have him walk, and then I guess you can let me know if he also spots anything else out of the ordinary as he's doing this.
Okay.
LV would also like to, without Thorgrim game,
Tilt sideways.
fucking
Lean on it.
fucking just LV and just Gladstone, not anyone else. Damn you, roll 20. Stop being an asshole.
I reoriented everybody to be straight.
How dare you?
Alright. Otto will then grab the book.
LV will attempt to grab the book first.
Did either of you go into your solid forms before attempting
Yeah.
to grab the book?
Yeah,
Um,
not Otto. Hoppy went down and did that because I'm assuming it'll wanted someone not organic to be down there.
Yes. God damn it, Gloomhollow.
LV,
remember-
what book?
I
Give
remember
book.
I remember you saying that Hoppy went down, but you never said he reverted.
Okay.
LV, you also never said you reverted.
I was going to revert once I got to the book. And then spend the minute to revert and then grab book.
Well,
Gloomhollow.
as neither of you stated that you were solidifying before attempting to grab the book, I need to roll something.
Oh my god.
I was trying to, but my throat was literally closing and preventing me from doing so.
As both of you frantically reach for the book, seemingly forgetting to turn into a solid form, the wind catches the booklet and sends it flying
Mage head.
into. You don't have Mage Hand can't be cast as a reaction. Flying
Mage Hand.
into a crevasse and
Mage head.
slips behind the crack of the storage unit there.
God, damn you, body, for making.
I'm
I
gonna
was trying to
for-
say it, but my throat was
for
closing.
Hoppy here.
Do what with Hoppy?
I'm gonna roll for Hoppy. God damn it, Hoppy! Why'd I give the headband of intellect? All right.
Bunga, bunga.
Hoppy is then going to look at LV, think for a second, and then is going to look back towards where the book flew into and is going to start reverting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna revert.
Okay.
They don't see Gloomhollow going down there. Well, she was wind, so I guess not.
You see her now, for sure, though.
Yes.
Yo, it's going to float over. Gloomhollow, what are you doing?
Getting the research material of my sibling.
That is why I sent Otto. Asked Otto to send Hoppy in there. Hoppy cannot be infected.
She just turns and gives you this look.
Ado gives her a similar look despite being made of wind. I understand you want to find anything to do with your sibling, but would your sibling want you to get infected and potentially die?
Seeing as I haven't seen them in over 100 years, I don't know.
Well, how about, in order for you to find out, you not potentially get yourself infected and die before you have a chance to meet them?
Go back into wind mode, I guess.
Thank you.
Another fucking minute.
Alright, and after Hoppy reverts into his regular self, he's then going to start trying to look for the book within the storage or behind the storage unit.
You know that it slid through a crack, so you'd have to try and move the storage unit if you want to look behind it.
Okay, you will try to do that then.
Roll an athletics. As Hoppy grabs the storage unit and begins to pull, you find that something seems to be holding it to the wall. You can get your fingers in there, but you can't muster enough strength to pull it free.
Huh. In that case, he is then going to pull out his grappling hook.
Oh my god.
And is going to attach it to the side of the storage unit. And then is going to proceed to continue to try pulling it that way.
Roll athletics.
Actually, you know what? That's why I haven't done this in a while. Otto, seeing that Hoppy is going to start to struggle a little bit, this might be useless as fuck, is going to... Actually, I guess I should roll first and then decide if I want to use it, like you said. Yeah, I'm going to use a portent to turn that into a 17, and then Otto's also going to Flash of Genius to make it a 22.
What's the range on your portents, though?
The portent is... There's just a creature I could see, but... Yeah, creature I can see.
Okay.
It'll be a 22 now.
Okay. So, as Hoppy begins to pull, Hoppy, you feel a lot of resistance, and then you hear what sounds like tearing of sinew as you pull the container away. You see that there is a thick layer of flesh that you had to battle with, seeming to hold the container in place as the file is sitting, waiting for your hand to be collected.
Jesus Christ.
What did we
All right.
lose? We lost chaos.
She. Then Hoppy will then go in and we'll grab the book.
Okay.
Book cast fireball. Wait, what?
Hoppy, you grab the book, and you find that it seems to be stuck on the flesh as well.
Mother of mercy.
We'll try to firmly grasp the book and pull it out of the
Firmly
flesh.
grasp it!
Actually, I'm gonna roll something to see what Hoppy does here.
Firmly grasp it!
Because Otto is just watching this and seeing how he figures out the situation.
Oh no.
Yeah, this will probably be the dumber choice for him. He's going to try to use his force power to rend on the flesh to tear the book out of the flesh.
Okay. Roll to hit.
He's not attacking the book, he's attacking the flesh that's attached to the book.
Roll to hit. So, you hit into it, and a burst of energy comes off of it, and all of you hear a very high-pitched wheel from down below, but you have managed to get the book free.
Alright. Once he has the book,
Then-
Hoppy...
You
Oh.
all begin to hear what sounds like wings flapping
Oh no.
Oh my god.
as something darts past you all, not seeming to notice you as you are all made of wind, and slamming into the ground nearby Hoppy.
What in
What
the
the
fuck
hell?
is that?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
It is.
What the fuck is that?
It appears to be a humanoid creature with a large amount of mutations sprouting out of its back into a wing-like, hand-like structure that slowly stands from its stance before reaching in onto its shoulder and with a sickening squelching sound pulls the blade from its own body as it looks to Hoppy.
What the fuck is that, DM?
I need to figure out what Hoppy is going to do here. Hoppy is going to.
Oh no.
Initiative.
Can Hoppy do? Okay.
Oh.
I will give Hoppy one action though.
Okay. Hoppy is just going to take the book and chuck it as far as he can, like towards the south.
Roll athletics.
He's pretty much chucking it as far as away from this guy as he can.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. What'd I miss?
Welcome back. Roll initiative.
Roll initiative.
Wait, we're all rolling initiative? Well,
Yes.
we'll win. We can't do anything.
Against the thing? Yeah.
That was gonna be
yeah.
auto, like Hoppy trying to fight it himself.
You know what?
To break
That's
it to you, but
fair.
it might be the case.
Yeah,
That's
It takes a minute,
that's
so that'd be 10
basically why I'm
turns.
saying Hoppy is going to throw the book as far away as he can.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we'll still need initiative, but at least only from Hoppy.
Okay.
Yeah, so 20. I'm not athletics.
Okay.
Sorry, my net. What the hell is that?
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Like, I'm not taking the book.
What's the thing do?
Oh, welcome back, welcome back, Luna.
Alright, that is his initiative.
Am I in gas form or what's happening with me right now?
Yes, everyone is in gas form.
Everyone is in their gaseous form.
Do I have
Yeah,
to
we're all
leave my
farts
gas
right
form,
now.
I'm guessing?
Well, that'll take a minute, which is 10 rounds of combat, so if you really want to, sure.
Oh no, Hoppy has a plan, dude. He's
Yeah.
smart. He's a smart boy.
So are we just stuck in gas form?
I'll
Can we
put
not help
Scalodius
him?
at least on the initiative in the event that it does take more than 10 turns.
You,
So he'll try to convert.
so, no, the only actions in this form is dash or to revert to normal.
So, either
So we
run around
can't help
screaming or take
Hoppy?
a minute.
No.
Not for 10 turns unless you start
Every 10
transforming
turns,
now. For
but
10 turns.
Hoppy has a plan here.
I at least put
Oh,
Scalodius on this because he'll try.
And Hoppy has a plan at least.
Well, it's Hoppy's turn, so.
Yep. Hoppy is going to move 30 feet over here. Actually, how high up is this branch over here?
Which branch?
The one in this top right area. Or is that just like a wall that he can't get to?
It's a branch, but it's 60 feet up.
I need to check something in. Okay, well that won't work. Alright. Then he is going to go 30 feet this way. And he's going to use his grappling hook to pretty much shoot at the ground over here and attempt to grapple himself 40 feet away.
Okay.
Essentially, he's going
I
the
don't
opposite
even-
direction of the book.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And I think like I move 30 feet, use an attack. I don't think he gets a second attack. Does he get? I need to double check. Actually, he doesn't. Yep, that'll be his turn for now.
Alright. The creature will spread its hand wings before flapping, and all of you hear the sound of bones breaking and flesh tearing as it zooms over to Hoppy. Ugh. And then it swings on Hoppy.
Am I allowed to at least, like, make a check about, you know, what even is this thing? And
You can try to roll a nature.
okay.
Auto also roll nature.
That's better than nothing.
Hey,
Auto got a crit. Okay.
rabbit boy, go!
You know it was humanoid at one point.
Oh.
Oh God.
That
It
makes
appear-
it more terrifying.
It
These are like Dead Space creatures.
it appears that whatever mutation has occurred to it is making it emulate that of an angel.
Oh.
So definitely Dead Space stuff.
Yeah, that kind of hit the head on the nail of that one.
So Hoppy, congratulations,
Oh.
you're being crit.
Oh no.
I need to roll something for Auto then.
Can I not help or anything? Because I can only. Oh no.
No, you can't.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Unless you want to
looking
spend
for
the
something
next
for
10
Auto.
turns.
What's this? Alright, Auto's protecting his boy. Auto's going to use his portent to make that a 5 instead of a crit.
Okay. Well, now I have to do math. Does a dirty 20 hit?
Oh.
Yeah? With a
Oh.
plus 15? Ah!
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Actually, I should be questioning that. We're level 15.
You guys are fighting monsters that have higher modifiers than this normally.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, yeah, that makes sense.
You're so Baldur Gate pilled, man.
Let's
All you're
see.
thinking about.
I mean, Baldur's Gate scales with you, or at least it's
does.
supposed to.
Oh, no, we're playing hard mode. We're doing honor mode plus extra fights, and we had to fight a civil war the other day. It was fun.
Okay, so let's see. Otto, you will take 13 slashing damage.
Alright. Okay.
Hold on. 14.
Oh, fuck.
The
And
dirty,
eight.
hold on.
18 necrotic damage as the blade glows and blasts out, and it's very similar to that of a paladin's divine smite.
I had a feeling.
Oh, okay.
Evil smite.
Then it'll use its bonus action to cast a spell on you. And I need a con save from a Hoppy.
Is this poison anyway?
It is not poison.
Okay. One save. Oh god, hop.
Alright. You will take 21 more necrotic damage as the blade splashes across you, and as your vision gets fuzzy for a minute, you look down, seeing the cleave mark in you, as well as red fleshy residue being left behind.
Okay. This is an out of character question, but does anything happen with what Hoppy went through with the fucking leyline shit or anything like that?
Where Hoppy was glowing?
Hoppy was glowing or having a spell cast on or anything like that? Does anything happen from that or no?
No.
Okay.
And let's see. It'll attack Hoppy again.
Oh, it has 2 attacks. Oh no.
It do have 2 attacks. And it's going to hit Hoppy for 9 slashing damage.
Oh. Are we just watching Hoppy be murdered?
And 12 necrotic damage.
Seems that way.
Hoppy is down. Let's see. Hold on, let me double check, make sure he hasn't gained more HP since though, because he might have. I think. I'm double checking, make sure he hasn't gained that more HP.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, so
It'll-
int plus 5 times 7, and then 5 times 15. Oh, he actually had more HP, so I think he's still 1 hit away from going down.
Oh.
He's
Dear.
currently at 7.
Okay.
Or 7 HP remaining.
Okay. Adel, were you wanting to do something?
Yes.
Do you want to roll initiative?
Yes. Yes. I'm going to regret this, but yes.
Okay. Adel, it's your turn.
Alright. Adel is going to see Hoppy about to get blitzkrieged and is going to look to Jubilee. Jubilee.
Yes.
End the spell.
Not how it worked.
Really? I thought you could end...
It's not
I
concentrated.
literally posted about it in the Roll20.
So we
Not
basically
gonna
just
happen.
watching our friend be
Unfortunately, I
executed.
cannot, milady.
It is not a concentration spell, so...
Yeah, it lasts for the 8 hours, so you have to either dash or...
I will
alert.
say, I did earlier have Goliath's roll initiative, so whatever the counter is at, he's at 1. He's less than everyone else.
One of the things I really hate about 5th edition is you can't just do this. Ah!
Okay, Otto will just kind of raise his hand up.
No one can see your hand, your wind.
Oh, I think it's it's fine.
It's fine.
Otto will point. Otto will motion toward. Did you not see what he did before he started? What he was doing?
I did, but won't that thing destroy him?
I can always rebuild him.
Okay.
Although we might lose the headband of intellect, but that's fine.
Well, that's... I guess they'll hold her turn for now.
Okay.
All right, Hoppy.
But wait, didn't
Looking
some
down
people
at the-
cancel the spell?
No.
No,
No one
do
can
that.
cancel wind wall.
Okay.
Hoppy, seeing this, is going to do the same thing again, and is going to fire the grappling hook 40 feet away. And tries to do it, and he will continue running northward as fast as he can.
Okay.
Essentially, off the map. He's essentially... It wouldn't take much of an insight to this, but you essentially can tell that Hoppy's trying to lead the thing away from you guys.
As this happens, the creature will let out a raspy wail, spread its arm wings, and flies after Hoppy. Off the map, and initiative is over.
Okay. Well, Ael's going to head over to the book. Actually, wait, she's wind. Well, all of her things are wind. She's going to tell me, I guess tell me if this works or not. She's going to put on the cane mask and then de-wind
Nope.
her. No?
You cannot put on any object as your objects are wind.
Okay.
Everything is wind.
She will hold her breath and then, well, she's going to de-wind, and right before she does, she'll hold her breath.
Okay.
And once de-winded, she will slip on the cane plague mask.
Milady, I'd rather you not put yourself in this position.
She'll just hold up a hand and will pick up the book with Mage Hand.
Oh, so when I put when I put myself in danger, it's fine. You.
Now's not the time, Gloomhollow.
Adel, as you put on the mask and grab the booklet. Well, hold on. The robot didn't do what I was wanting it to.
Huh? What robot?
Shh. I'll figure it out.
Oh no.
Oh, hold on. Oh, I get you.
What?
Gosh darn it.
What in the
I-
Sauron?
I see you.
Yes, you hear that.
Hold on.
Hear what?
Roll. Discord actually can't. Well, my recording can't actually hear that, so let me play it for everyone.
Okay.
Okay. From where?
As soon as you put the mask on.
What the fuck?
Hold on. I want everyone else to hear, so. Everyone else should know the happiness that you're going through at the moment.
Let me see. Maybe it only listens to me. Let's see.
YouTube videos.
Hold on. No, that
YouTube
was
videos are
something
no longer
video.
supported. Has been playing YouTube videos this entire time.
Oh, yeah, no, I hate that.
Oh god. You could just post it in like general so everyone can just like hear it. So everyone just like play it themselves and hear it.
It's fine. It's not as fun, but I'll post it in shit posting.
Ah, well. That's
Yeah,
right.
the ice. Yeah, that's fun.
Okay. Ale's going to peer around real quick.
You don't see anyone.
Well, she'll pick up the. She'll still pick up the book of Mage Hand. Hold on. Mage Hand. Okay. And then we'll turn back into wind.
Okay.
Alright.
Please put the book in your pack.
I can't. It's still covered in, like, some of the fleshy stuff, ain't it?
No.
Oh. Okay, before transforming, she'll pull in her pack. When I put on the mask, something said it could hear me.
We'll discuss it once we're out of this area.
Yeah, let's go.
As they begin to leave, Alda will simply say, "Hi, Hoppy."
Ow.
Well,
You could tell it was a somber, sad thought.
we can try and get him back.
No, I don't think we should.
Alright.
You saw what was growing out of him.
Well, it's not like he's infected. He's a mechanical being.
I don't think
But
that.
there was still the red fleshy stuff that was coming out of him.
I think it was more was not coming out of him, more was sprayed onto him.
The enemy did pull the weapon from its own body. There's a chance that it was residue left over.
Yeah, I feel like he can't. If we found what was left of him, we can recover him. But ultimately, it's up to you, Otto.
I guess we can try, maybe, but I'd rather make sure we're all safe first.
Well, it's either one or the other, I'm afraid.
How much time do we have left?
I don't know.
I mean, we can try to follow them from a distance and see where they ended up at, what happens to them.
Damn it, Kay. Damn it. The bot left.
Yeah, it's not playing nothing no more.
I don't like it.
Yes, let's try and rescue Hoppy if we can. And up north, Windadle will go to try and follow it. Though she will wait for others to follow as well. Alright. Let's try and follow Hoppy.
Hoppy, you need to roll athletics.
Oh boy. Okay.
Beep boop.
$16.
Your roll has been noted. Which direction is Hoppy running?
He just ran directly north.
Okay.
Through the book south, ran north.
Well, a good way to do this and also keep track of how long the spell lasts. I'll say that each tile you can move 1 tile per hour. So you've already moved 4, so you got 4 hours remaining on the spell.
Okay.
So that way we don't have to do weird math to figure out everything.
Alright. So, do I go 1 north then?
If you want to continue the direction that you know Hoppy went here. But if you don't, then no.
What? I did go north.
I was continuing my sentence. I'm having to prep. I'm having to do preppy poos.
Preppy boys.
Alright. So as you fly along, you are much faster than Hoppy, and you actually find Hoppy just sprinting. You don't see the angel, though, that was following him.
Hoppy is what?
Sprinting.
Alright.
But you do not see the angel that was following.
That's... Fuck. Alright. The hell do we do in this situation?
Otto's going to look around and see if he sees anything out of the ordinary around them.
Roll
We're
perception.
like so close to our destination.
Not, it's gonna be useless, but Flash Virginia, make it a 30.
Everything seems fine around you.
At this point, I'm thinking honestly, would Hoppy have note? Hoppy would probably take a time to look behind him, just kind of see. Would he have seen the angel anywhere behind him or no?
No.
Okay.
After about... Hoppy moves it 30 feet, 60 when sprinting, right?
Yeah, technically 70 if he uses the grappling hook, which he would have been using.
So, that means that he could have gone 100 feet every turn because, he could dash and then use the grappling hook if need be. So,
Okay.
with that being in mind, after about 300 feet, he stopped seeing the angel following him.
Alright. At that point, he probably would have stopped moving and started using his repairs to mend himself. So I'll just roll one and then go from there. And then after he repairs himself, he would have just continued moving north.
Okay.
We can see him, right?
Yeah.
Otto, can you get him to stop and turn it back into wind?
He'd have to figure that out himself. So, but he is smart. I will now roll intelligence for Hoppy.
I mean, you don't have to roll intelligence for Hoppy. He has a 19 intelligence.
Okay, well then yeah, Hoppy would have. Like I said, after repairing himself, Hoppy would have tried to take the minute to revert back into wind.
Okay. He reverts with no issue.
Meow.
Alright.
Except for his voicemail troll, apparently.
He will then start
exhausted,
flying
there's no
upwards, and unless he sees or hears the party, he's going to continue north.
Alright.
Abby, calls Adel.
We'll look around.
Heckin' windy.
Are you alright?
Does Hoppy feel alright after everything?
Feels like Hoppy.
Yes.
Alright.
Damaged, but yes.
Stick with us for now. But good job.
Hoppy will, now that I'm not yawning all the time, Hoppy will give a thumbs up that you cannot see.
Alright. So how many have we moved now?
Moved 4, that was 5, so 3 more.
Alright.
So you moved another square?
I moved 2.
Why did you? No, I mean you moved another square since just now, yeah?
Just now I moved 2.
Okay.
You said I should move 2 at a time.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see. Alright, so as you're flying along, you once again see another small building below as you are going over a smaller part of the river.
Well, folks, what do you think we should do?
Keep flying. Unless we want to take the time to figure out where we're at with the compass.
I feel we could do that once we land for good.
Yeah, that could work.
That menacing chuckle gives me conniptions.
That's
I-
not related.
Sure.
What are the GOI's views on anomalies? SCP Foundation says anomalous entities should be carefully contained and studied to allow the continuation of normalcy for the population at large. The GOC says if it doesn't make sense inside your head, load your gun and shoot it dead.
I love that.
Mother of mercy.
That's very true.
Also known as standard procedure in the American Army.
Wow.
Would you rather I said a standard procedure for Canadian war crime?
No, it's very similar.
So what was the consensus on the area?
George said he wanted to keep flying just in case, but
We're almost out of time, unfortunately.
As
In the spell.
As you say this, you finally hear the last light pipe up and said, "I would like to land if you will accommodate me."
All right.
We should land right about now.
Very well. And land we will.
And once we all transform back, you find yourself with a tiefling attached to your side.
Hubert?
As said tiefling attempted to grab Adelsarde, Hubert will very calmly prevent this.
Thank you, Hubert.
You're welcome.
what the fuck?
Hell is going to look
Apologies. I shall. Maybe it's time I pull this one back in. I apologize, milady.
over. A wise idea, she says, while just without looking, will take the book out and hand over to Glumalo. Watching the last lights going along.
He goes into what looks to be a ruins of some sort as he looks around, seeming very solemn. The area at large, you notice, is sporting large, fleshy plant. The river is indistinguishable now. You can see that it is still flowing, but you cannot discern if it has ever at any point been water, looking more gelatinous in nature than the last river you saw.
Ew.
God,
I'm
it's
working.
Wonka's chocolate river.
I'm
Ew.
working on getting hoppy at the moment, so give me a sec.
Oh, okay. You wanted to get rid of Zach on this?
You get this hoppy.
There's
I
two
okay.
of them now.
There's two of
I
them.
take this.
Also, would you mind getting rid of one of the Jubilees then, as they're fusing back together?
I was gonna do some talking with Hoppy and then say, you think I might have come up with a different theory that we might want to take into account going forward?
Which is?
Do not strike any of the flesh that you see on the ground or on anything.
Good idea. But, right.
Sounds like it's a whole living organism now.
It's like The Last of Us. If you hit the vines, it triggers the things in the underground.
She,
Show?
I think it might be maybe some type of hive mind or just some type of... Actually, if everything... Oh,
you think it's all connected or something?
I think so. Like, it's hard to describe it, but after seeing him striking the flesh and then doing all that, do you think this might just be one large organism spreading across the island?
And infecting everything to spread its influence further. Maybe. But, another
Like-
thing. When I put on the mask, and she points to Kane's plate mask, something said it could see me.
That's concerning.
Very.
Also, may I see the compass real quick, Adel?
And I'll show the compass, while also looking to it to see which direction it's pointing.
It is still pointing northeast.
Alright.
Alright. And may I see it now?
She'll hand over.
Alright. George is going to think for a second. And he's going to start thinking that he wants to... What he's going to want to find most is the source of this infection. Source of the island's infection.
Just a second, I gotta consult the map. The source of the island's infection appears to be more northly.
Oh, bother.
George will nod, and will hand the compass back to Abel. So, it appears as if the source of the infection is more northly, and the thing for Deadbeard is northeast. So, I was trying to make sure that the infection and Deadbeard weren't connected in any way, so...
I wonder if getting rid of the source of the infection might make traveling around at least a bit easier.
Getting rid of the source might not stop the infection itself, but it will stop the spread, like you said.
Yes. Maybe we should make a slight detour. It would at least make it possible that we would run into Gloom Hollow's sibling on the way there, given that's what they are researching.
I was thinking to himself still for a little bit here after hearing what Otto said, or Hoppy said, or described with the situation.
I believe the thing that assailed me was once a paladin.
I'm sorry, what?
I believe the thing that assailed me was once a paladin.
Well, might be someone that the last light knew.
It did look pretty scary, but I think my working theory right now, well, I guess my theory that I think would be pretty interesting is if this infection is just a way to have like a whole single body organism that's just spreading itself out, or growing in a way. And the infection is its way of what's something of like protecting itself, or getting like protectors for it. Like, you know how like our body has like an immune system that prevents us from getting sick or getting injured in a way?
So you mean to say that now this entire island is more or less alive?
I'm saying it's becoming alive, or something is growing within it that's turning it into something.
How disconcerting.
It's just a theory. I don't think I don't think it'll lead to anything, but it's kind of just a theory. Because something reacted to it only when we struck it. But we haven't really been causing any actual damage to the organism itself. Or to the island itself, I guess.
We have not, no.
There is also the situation of the loud
The
bickering.
fuck was that?
There's also the situation of the loud bickering that Avariel and Adel Sardet were doing. Perhaps that attracted the ire of the creature.
Wait, who was doing it?
Avariel and Adel Sardet were bickering over the notebook that I acquired. Perhaps that is what attracted them.
As this is going on, Otto's going to be looking over Hoppy just to make sure there's no other damages or anything like that, or anything out of the ordinary with them?
He looks slashed and worse for wear, but the residue that was once on him seems to have fallen off.
Otto is going to specifically look at the slashes that are on him.
Uh-huh.
He's kind of just going in and making sure there's no additional residue or anything like that.
How are you doing this?
He is... Huh. I guess he kind of run his hand along, like, the slash marks on him, and will kind of make sure there's nothing, like, any, like, leftover residue or anything like that. Like, kind of taking a much closer look to make sure there's nothing, like, still left over.
Hold on, Otto, before you get any closer. Jubilee.
Yeah. Yes.
She points to Otto. She points to Hobby. Eat metal.
Right away.
Wait, what?
If he is infected with something, while it won't infect him, it will infect anyone that touches him or gets too close. Heat should kill off, or at least destroy, any residue on him that's too small to see.
Might sting a little bit, Hoppy, so just bear with it for now.
Okay. I know Otto would make sure Hoppy doesn't dodge it, just to be safe, but is there anything that would cause Hoppy to dodge it?
Since Hoppy is intelligent enough to understand what is going on, he's not going to resist.
Okay.
And you see him light up for a bit, and you all hear the sound, a soft popping, sizzling sound, which then ceases as the heat continues.
Alright.
A soft. Wait, what?
Hissing and
Sorry.
popping sound.
Ew.
Well, it's burning off fleshy tumors.
Cauterizing a tumor.
Well, once everything seems all cleaned up, I'll release the spell.
Okay.
Once it seems like Hoppy's sanitized,
Alright.
I now have a cat in my lap. Hey girl, how you doing? You wanted some attention, huh?
Kitty.
Yep, my cat daughter.
A cotter.
Eyes.
Jubilee, can you end the spell real quick?
I said once he was cleared, I ended it. So
There's no clear way to tell if he's cleared or not, so I have a solution to figure it out myself.
well, I was going until the fleshy bits on his outside were cauterized off. From there, you'll have to do more internal maintenance.
It's like everything on the outside has been burnt off.
Yes.
Just let him cool off first. Otto, don't want you to burn yourself.
So, the spell has ended, and he is no longer burning red hot.
Alright. As this happens, Otto is going to pull out his smith tools and is going to ask Hoppy to kneel down. Once Hoppy kneels down, he's going to use the smith tools on Hoppy's head to detach his head.
As you detach his head, his body flumps to the ground. With Hoppy,
Ow.
with Hoppy moving his eyes to look at this, and just says, "Unfortunate."
Well, I'm just making sure.
Father, I
Then-
have fallen and I cannot get up.
Jubilee, would you mind looking inside the metal to see if there's anything else remaining in it?
All right. Jubilee will do a quick, very thorough check to be sure Hoppy is rid of his problem.
There does not appear to be any fleshy growths within.
He looks clean, Otto.
Otto will then look directly at Hoppy's detached head. Do you feel clean?
I would never feel dirty, so I feel the same.
Do you feel like there's anything crawling within your head at all?
No.
Okay. We will then ask Jubilee to pick up the suit or the metal, and he will start to reattach Hoppy's head.
Okay.
Jubilee will sit his body back up and hold it still for him.
Oh yeah, Ado handed it to LB.
Okay. Go to rock of reading.
As you open it, you notice that it appears to be blank, but instead there is a sigil drawn on a piece of paper, and you recognize the symbol being that of the spell Magic Mouth.
Okay. I shall activate because because that will be where the documents are contained within, I assume.
Okay. As you activate it, you hear a very familiar voice start up.
Oh, it's an audiobook, is it?
Yeah, that's what Magic Mouth. That's what Magic Mouth is.
Oh yeah, fair, yeah.
And you hear it start up by saying, Research Documentation 1. For Research Documentation 1. The subject in this instance was infected by a disease. We had grounds to test multiple different subjects after contamination breach. When the paladins inevitably failed in their task of securing a perimeter, we have elected to help ourselves to samples to continue testing and documentation away from the epicenter of the infection. Subject 1, human, male, infected after disease breach containment. The infection starts as a fever. Post 24 hours after infection. As the fever continues, within 48 hours after infection, a rash will develop. The subject retains all cognitive abilities for the 48-hour duration when the rash occurs. Anywhere between 12 and 24 hours after rash develops, it rapidly expands, with the subject losing cognitive abilities and becoming aggressive. Within the next few days after aggression starts, mutations begin, and it ends.
After 12 to 24 hours, rash progresses. Subject becomes aggressive and loses cognitive functions. Then, what was the last bit?
Mutations begin.
After.
After another few days, mutations begin.
Mutations. Alright. LB will clap the book shut and we'll put it in a pocket in her robe.
As you do, you recognize the very cold, callous, and frankly uncaring note in their voice, showing that they were seeing this as a research project, not anything dire or even seemingly bothered by the rapid, undoubtedly loss of life that it caused.
If anything,
Definitely
this
not a
was
humanitarian effort.
This was interesting to them. This was amusing. Elvie will cross her arms and just ruminate in silent thought.
So, Beastie, what are you doing?
He's just standing behind the paladin, watching him.
You can tell by his body language, he seems sad at what he's looking at. He's looking around the rubble of the destroyed building and seems very bothered.
Candleman, what's this?
This was one of our churches.
Jill looks around.
It's gone. Destroyed, it seems.
She nods.
I'm not sure by what, but it maddening to be.
He reaches up and just pats him on the back.
I suppose I truly am the last of my order.
You don't know that.
I do not believe anybody of my order would have allowed this place to fall into such disarray.
Weasley folds her arms behind her head. You rather they stop it from going into looking bad, or that they survived?
Unfortunately, when it comes to us and our devotion, those things are not mutually exclusive. They are one and the same. Exactly.
You survived.
Not by choice. I was sealed away to survive.
So maybe the same thing happened to others.
I would have happily fallen with my brothers that day, but
you here.
and now I owe it to them to make sure that this does not happen anywhere else.
We understand. It's good to make sure a thing like this no happen again.
Pretty sad to see what's become of this place. And as he says this, he slowly kneels down and removes his helmet, just stares at the remnants of a ritual circle.
He thought me was last one left with my nest. It was destroyed. My mother, my brothers, my sisters, all dead, except for me.
Sorry to hear that.
Joe crouched down. But then, many years later, me meet someone that smell like my sister. One of my sisters escaped, made a nest of her own, had many children. And me had no idea. But then, it just happened. Me was sure that they all dead. But they weren't all dead.
That is a good thing, then.
You know,
I am happy for you.
maybe the same thing happened with you.
Maybe.
You will find out one way or other.
Oh, that is true.
But that's only if you look for them.
If I find them in my journeys, but he shakes his head and says, "But I unfortunately need to focus on cleaning this island, fixing it."
What do you do after?
I don't know. That will depend on if I'm engulfed in the holy fire or not.
Nah, you'll be fine. Others will not let you die.
We'll see.
Even if you really want to. Things will get better whether you want it to or not. You have no choice.
You will feel better and you will like it. There is no other choice.
That is a very interesting way of trying to motivate someone.
You will be happy. You will like it. Yes, sir.
Motivate? You're not trying to motivate me, just telling you what will happen. Things will get better and there is nothing anyone can do to stop it.
Alright then.
Good.
The power of positivity is unrelenting.
If you will excuse me, I would like to be alone so that I can pray.
He'll take some steps back.
You see him bow his head as he goes still.
Well, she's giving him some space.
As this is happening, can Otto attempt something?
Sure.
So, you said there's still like fleshy stuff like on the ground, right? And things like that?
They not in your immediate area. The vegetation has grown large and it is fleshy.
The vegetation has grown large and it is fleshy?
Yes.
Otto then looked at Adel and say, permission to test something?
Test what?
I want to try to see if my initial theory is correct, if the theory I just proposed is correct or not.
And how do you plan to test that?
Well, if it is some type of living organism, then it has to have thoughts in some way, right?
Not necessarily.
At least it has to think in some way, right?
A jellyfish is a living organism, and I do not believe they think at all.
They have instincts, if that is what you mean.
But the thing with this is, if this is a hive mind or some type of intelligent organism that can infect people, it has to think in some way, right?
Not necessarily.
Again, it could be instinctual. Just the need to propagate and grow.
Well, in that case, I'd still like to test it if that would be okay.
How?
Detect thoughts.
I am not sure if that's a wise idea. But you are surrounded by people that can help you, so very well.
Theoretically.
Alright. In that case, Otto will go into his pack, pull out 2 gloves. We'll head over to the nearest fleshy looking vegetation. We'll set his hands on it.
Oh, Jesus.
We'll cast Detect Thoughts.
Nothing happens.
No thoughts in it. Got it.
Well, he's casting it on a plant.
Oh, I thought he was trying to reach the fleshy parts of the plant, but...
I mean, it's still ultimately a plant. It's a fleshy plant, but it is a plant. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Otto will then look, size,
Any luck?
well, it's kind of just a fleshy plant, so I don't know if it would count as it. It might be different if we go to one of those areas that has, like, the fleshy ground and things like that.
But we're going to do our best to steer clear of those areas, at least.
Yeah, that's fine. That was just a short theory.
Fortunately, the bad days are over. Now it's time for even worse days.
Oh no.
That's a funny quote. Oh god, I don't know how this happened, but now I'm just seeing nothing but SCP Foundation memes.
Gee, I wonder where the SCP Foundation memes came from. I say while we are in SCP Foundation land.
But this one, it has a picture of the SCP Foundation, and it says, "We contain anomalies to study, giving us a better understanding of how to keep them away from the public. GOC. At least 3 of our people died because we tried to kill a chair." That's also that's very funny out of context, but there used to be a teleporting chair SCP that seemed to be sentient, but all it did was teleport around the world and give a place for people to sit. That was its one and only thing that it wanted. So the GOC, believing that they needed to destroy every SCP in existence, threw it into a wood chipper, and it teleported into their lungs and killed them.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god.
And now it's a pile. Now it's a pile of deadly teleporting wood chips,
Oh my god.
which immediately teleported itself into Foundation custody, where it spends its days and teleports into the lungs of anyone who looks like a scientist. No, it's anyone who looks like a field operative. So if you ever enter its containment area, you're not allowed to be in tactical gear.
That is a prime example of fucking around and finding out.
You fuck around and everybody else around you finds out as well.
If that is not SCP in a nutshell, I don't know what is.
That was a good time.
Hmm?
That meme that I saw. I said that was good. That was a good
Memes.
time.
Memes, the DNA of the soul.
memes, the DNA of memes, the DNA of memes.
Heaven is a myth. Religion is a joke. Memes, Jack. The DNA of the soul. That game
Nano
is a
Machine
fucking
Sun.
trip. Alright. Well, spotting Scalodius is off on his lonesome again. Al's going to walk over. What's the matter, Scalodius?
Nothing's the matter.
You're isolating
Reality.
yourself again.
Gillis looks around. What's I was just wandering around looking at things.
Why
Behind,
the fuck
out of
are
character,
people in
the Dragonade.
courtyard when there was a fucking storm a second ago? What the fuck?
Out of
Why are
character,
they
the
hosting
Dragon
a
Lady.
party now? Everywhere is covered in
Motherfucker.
rainwater.
Phenom, Chaos is trying to talk to you.
Sorry. I'm yelling at people. Sorry.
And I'm used to him promptly yelling over me.
Sorry.
Anyways, I was saying, out of character, the Dragonborn let his ADD take over for a little bit.
Ah.
Yeah, Skellis looks at Adel. He looks genuinely like he was not trying to isolate himself. He's just kind of wandering around aimlessly for no reason.
Oh. Well, alright. I guess you're fine. Good to know.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at things around here, seeing if anything popped out or whatnot, but otherwise, I'm not really doing much. I apologize if I worried you folks again.
Just don't stray too far. We don't know who's watching.
Still curious about that weird water.
For the love of all that is holy, do not touch it.
Understood.
You will most likely die a painful death.
Or have to live your life.
Is the
being
priest
died.
brooding? Is the priest brooding again, milady?
No.
Oh. Okay. I apologize for apparently all my self-control only going into one side of me.
You're a mere inches away from making a mistake that you would regret for many, many, many days.
I don't think that part of me got handsy at all. It was just
There were attempts.
a character. Were there really? All the other half did was look, and that was literally it.
Also tried to
Look and admire.
Also tried to.
Oh yeah, that. I forgot about that part. Oh yeah, that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a good thing I've got both my parts back together now. You can see how much difficulty it is to work with that, I guess. Again, I make note, out of character. Both sides were literally arguing most of the time. Between wanting to be helpful and wanting to be affectionate. So, like a different take of the logic versus, artistic mind.
I still do not know why you pine for me, when you already have Hubert.
Oh, trust me, I pine for both of you. Just, again, I try to use my self-control to not make you uncomfortable with that. And unfortunately, without said self-control, all my creative side wanted to do was show you affection and nothing else.
I see.
Maybe protection as well, but that's just both sides. Both sides still care about you. Just the one side wants to be logical and do things in a nice, calm, controlled manner, whereas the other side just wants to be nearby and would honestly might be slight into the punishment but only that one side. The other side's definitely not into it.
Hmm.
Look, I can't explain it.
I'm sure they'll have some who could.
Yes, and unfortunately, I am not one of them.
Viewers want to take a gander.
I cannot explain. I'm afraid.
Make an educated guess.
Perhaps that half prefers you over me.
Me?
No. First it was no, me, no. I like you both a lot.
I didn't say you didn't like me. I said that half of you liked her better.
That's interesting, actually.
Hey, Scalodius.
Yes.
Roll perception.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Literally the least perceptive person in this party, I believe.
Are you
Okay,
sure,
Orange
you
is
sure
rolling
about
20,
that?
Sure.
Ben has
Orange is
Ultra
rolling
Instinct
I have a
playing in his
+2.
back of his head.
Cute Metal Gear
Go.
Solid meme again.
Scalodius,
Wait a minute.
as you're watching and observing and looking around, for the briefest moment, after everything that has happened in the area, you begin to clue in. Due to the fact of how thick the water is, you don't hear the babble. It's very quiet, and the world around you, apart from the murmuring in the distance of Adel Sarday and Jubilee, you hear nothing except the sound of footprints on a stone path seeming to be heading your way.
Billows immediately gets into combat mode. Everyone, I think we might have company.
Elvie immediately stands up.
Billows is looking in the direction of where the footsteps are coming from. Which I'm assuming is over here, right?
To the left, yeah.
That's my right.
No, sorry, to the right. I don't know why, but I get left and rights mixed up recently now.
To
I
my
can't
left. Oh my god, it's right on you guys.
He's right on
Look,
your
if I
six.
rolled low on the perception, I would have bought that.
Apologies.
George starts throwing out his sword.
Both great swords are ready, you know.
Yeah, for everybody that doesn't have his other swords, he's just going to pull out his demon longsword, or dark steel longsword.
Yep, smashers at the ready.
Getting into position near Adel for sword and shield for protection tactics.
Galodius, as you look, you finally see the figure walking forward. His head is down presently, doesn't seem to notice you, and he appears to be clad in heavy plate mail that has been grown over by the fleshy substances that you have seen in the area around, as he continues to walk very solemnly.
So he immediately goes back to the rock.
This will take a step back and see if it walks past him or to him.
What is that?
I don't know, milady, but we should get off the path.
It
Real quick.
appears to be a figure dressed in heavy plate mail, carrying a sword. All of the metal on his armor and his sword has been overgrown by the flesh that presumably infects him, as he is calmly, solemnly, with his head down, walking.
This is happening. George is going to grab Aurelia and pull her to the side of the road.
Aurelia, are you there?
Load up.
But not.
Oi! Let's move for character.
I
I
was,
should just go to the bathroom, so she'll be back soon.
if she wasn't paying attention, I was gonna ask if she wanted to be forcibly moved and have you two roll it out. Because I'm mean.
My lady, it's almost like even when they're taken over, they default to old routines or something like that.
Maybe.
And she's back now.
Hi, Luna.
Yep, there's a big figured armor walking past us.
And Beastie, as you're watching the last light, you see him pick up his head at the sound of footsteps before he calmly takes his helmet, slides it back on, stands and turns as he readies his weapon and his shield. And as you turn and look towards the entrance of the dilapidated church, you see the armored figure now raise its head. You hear a squelching sound as it stares directly at the last light. And neither of them say a single word, but you can tell by the tension in the air that things are about to get very problematic here.
Oh no.
She'll place Dunk on the floor and nudge him with her foot so that he scams this way, and then we'll just pull out Scraw and Big Knit rest on her shoulder while peering back at the last light. So, Candleman, what we do?
That thing needs to die, he says very sternly.
She
The second he
activates her
says that,
triggers.
the second he says that, Thorgrim's hammer lights on fire. You got it.
Hey, thanks for watching the video until the end. If you want to see more of my stuff, click on either the vids on screen or check out my YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and check the description for more places to follow me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be seeing you.